Peace YouTube, this is Fleurbrun coming to you today. Not topic of discussion, hold on. Check on him. Sleepless in Orlando. Days. I hope you guys can hear me. Oh, wait, I don't think you can hear me. Don't hear me. Hold on. Okay. I think you guys can hear me now. So let's see if I can. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Let's make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? You guys hear me okay? Okay, perfect. Oh, perfect. Okay. Check on it. Peace to the east, west, north, and the south. This is Fleurbrun coming to you today with a new topic of discussion. Hey, Marcus. Hey, Selma. Hey, y'all. Check on. I just realized how much sleep most of us aren't getting. I'm like on days without sleep. Got that gamma radiation. Um, hey, Nanaru. Hey, my love. Hey, Pavel. Check on her. I just realized I have like dark circles underneath my eyes. It's because I don't think anybody's sleeping. How are you guys doing with sleep? Is everyone sleeping okay? Because I haven't slept. Like, I'm going on like maybe 2 hours a night over the past. Oh, look at this dragonfly. Hey, honey. Maybe they're fairies. Oh, my dragonfly. I was trying to see if there's fairies on top. Um, no sleep? I haven't slept. Like, I just looked at my eyes. I'm like, ooh, my eyes look real vampirish. You know, like when vampires get up and they're in the middle of the day? I'm looking real vampiric right now. I'll give you some intel on that as well. You haven't slept. Everyone's going to sleep like 5 o'clock in the morning. I told you it's like we're getting charged and also we're getting activated. But there's something else to that. So, Skynet. Yeah, it's like 2 to 3 hours. It's madness. Anyway, so let me give you that intel first because I'll forget to tell you. So, why a lot of us aren't sleeping, and this is what I had gotten from the Andromedans last night, is that those of us who come from nocturnal extraterrestrials or hybrids, like the Nega, those connected to those, who else is nocturnal? Certain nocturnal type of animals or hybrids of those nocturnals, we are going back into our mode of interface. So for those of us who are connected to the Nega, we will be going back into our nocturnal type of behavior. And also, just that is the first one. So if you are having issues sleeping, it's part of that. But there's another part of that is that if you aren't part of the Nega serpent, we're doing a flip of magnetic field. So as above, so below. So now as below, we're going back up. So because there's a flipping of the magnetic field, a lot of us are feeling the shift. So normally the natural human or animals are on, so I'm yelling. I'm sorry. We're on circadian rhythm. Now, how many of you are like, I don't know anything about circadian rhythm? Okay. Fast. Fast for 24 hours. Fast for 24 hours and tell me when you want to go to sleep. When you fast, you kick in that circadian rhythm. Okay. Why animals know to get up and go to sleep? It has to do with the circadian rhythm that is kind of intrinsically, innately based in their genomes. Okay, quantum sensei. So why you would know when to rise and go to sleep has to do with the circadian rhythm. When you fast, you take out all the muters, things that mute you. So when you fast, you'll notice that every time I'm on a fast, I want to go to sleep like 6 o'clock as soon as the sun goes down. Okay, so it's a combination platter because now we're flipping magnetic field and you're feeling the shift, the magnetic field shift. So what used to be day is night and we're confused. So when they talk about the 3 days of night and the 3 days of darkness and the 3 days of daytime, it's because of the magnetic field stopping, halting, and then going in the other direction. Now, if it's going in the other direction, you know how you'll go in China, and China has a whole different time zone, right? So when you go to China, what time? Who's in Shinwa's neck of the woods? Anybody in Asia right now? Who's in Asia? Where's our family in the Philippines? We have our Philippines family on here. What time is it by you? I'm gonna give you an idea, so you get an idea. Who's in the Philippines right now? What time is it? Or someone look it up real quick. Who's in the film? I can't see. What time is it? Okay, it's 2:40 a.m. Thank you, my love. Thank you, Kimmy. Okay, 2:41 a.m. So for Kimmy, she's in the sleepless in Asia right now. Big up to Kimmy. Kimmy's up late with us, right? So Kimmy is in a whole neck of the woods. Now, mind you, when the magnetic field shifts and the poles flip, remember South Pole and North Pole flip, Kimmy will be in our time zone. So Kimmy, 2:41 for you, but if you're in our time zone, you're going to be like 2 o'clock in the afternoon over here. So when Kimmy is staying up all night, it's actually because she's awake to our time zone, which will be her future time zone. For us, we're awake at a time when we're going to be in her future time zone. So right now, if you feel like napping, chances are you're going to be flipping to her paradigm, her type of zone. Okay, so the flipping of the time zone also makes us feel a little off kilter. That's why we're not sleeping. Plus the gamma radiation coming in, it's driving your cells and it's awakening you too. So it's a combination platter, family. So let's get into the conversation I want to get in. So yeah, like I could literally take a nap right now, but I'll be up until like 5 o'clock in the morning. I was gonna go live last night, but I was like, listen, I gotta stop going live late at night. So I was just, I was up just looking at videos last night, catching up on The Walking Dead. I used to love to watch The Walking Dead, so I'm home, so I decided to watch it until 5 o'clock this morning when I finished the series. So let's get into the false flags, the Project Bluebeam that is going all. Listen, family. Let me close my Project Bluebeam is up and running, family. Oh, I'm leaving my stuff all out. I'm sorry. Project Bluebeam is up and running. Okay, so if you've been seeing those light ships, I think many of you saw the light ships, right? Did you guys get a chance to see the light ships? People said they saw ships over our area. That's Project Bluebeam. They were white ships, clear ships. Someone had the footage. I forgot where it was. And I was like, oh wow, they're running the program already. Listen, Sanchi is not even fully up, and they're already running test drills to see how the populace will react to test spots where they're going to put up Project Bluebeam and give you a false narrative of extraterrestrials or ships. Okay. And big up to Third Phase and Moon. Third Phase and Moon debunked the moon video. Because I really give credit to Third Phase and Moon. I really, they're great at validating whether footage is real or not. Because remember, Third Phase and Moon will put up all the videos of ships or odd phenomenon that shows up, and they actually debunked the moon video. So if you had a chance to watch the moon video where you saw ships or shadows of ships on that moon, the dark side of the moon, they already debunked it. Okay, they showed that someone had altered the video and had added that. But let's go back to Project Bluebeam and how they are now starting to artificially create a false narrative. And we talked about this years ago. I already told you, family, we had this discussion, 4 years ago? Remember the discussion we had? I said, when they roll out technology and all of a sudden you see a fleet of ships, that's how you know they're going to create a false narrative of an alien invasion of some sort or aliens coming and working with them. Listen, family, let me give you a 451. Please put a like on a video if you're up for the shenanigans. Let me give you a little secret. Okay, if they wanted you to see them, they wouldn't be doing it at this time, and nor would you be seeing ships all over the place because that isn't real. Okay, they cloak their ships. You have Nazi ships who have the technology to cloak. You even have U.S. ships that can cloak themselves. You think for any reason that now when everyone's going bonkers and crazy, they're going to show themselves now? Family, that is Project Bluebeam. If you want to get a better idea of this and you think it thinks that I'm going too far and I'm not giving you your chance to observe UFOs, I want you to take a look at the footage from 9/11. Okay, that was one of the first kickoffs of Project Bluebeam to the 20,000 power. That was a hologram. Okay, that was already shown. They were able to do one of the biggest, most magnanimous shows ever with 9/11. Okay, 9/11 was a demolition, a bomb underneath. Oh, I shouldn't say that. A boom boom. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, my love. That was a boom boom underneath the buildings. Okay, that's why it collapsed from the bottom and not the top. So when a plane hit, that was just an explosion upstairs. But if you know anything about, I worked in I worked in the World Financial Center when I was in college. And if you know anything about the Twin Towers, beams don't burn from top bottom. They burn from bottom up. Okay. So there was a demolition below. That was already done. I don't want to get into the schematics of that because if you don't believe me, remember everything I share with you, I tell you to go and verify yourself. Because I could be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I could be a Looney Tune online. I could be somebody giving you jargon that is a lie or some sort of, pro quo. Okay. Go check it out. Okay, so that was Project Bluebeam. Now, they also did this a couple years ago when I was in New York. They also did another Bluebeam project when people saw in New York. Big up to all my New Yorkers in the house. Hey, April. Remember when they did a lot of people saw, a lot of you saw the blue lights in New York. What was this, 2 years ago? Remember the blue sky? That was Project Bluebeam. They do test runs, okay? So if you got a chance to see the ships that someone caught, the light ships, the light ships. Check it out. And that is a testament of Project Bluebeam. Okay. So as we spoke about a couple years ago, as you know, they are amping up a technology. And with this technology, 5G, this allows them the ability to be able to activate your hologram. Now, mind you, they're putting tons of barium and aluminum in the sky. Now, if you know anything about barium, barium allows for a field to be the ionosphere to be very impressionable. Okay, the ionosphere can be very impressionable. What do I mean by that? It means that okay, that's why in Chinois neck of the woods, did you guys get a chance to see the chariots in the sky? The chariots with them blowing the horns. Did you get a chance to see that? It's interesting enough that they have full on 5G, and then you're seeing this display of holographs in the sky. Now, in the future, I think there was someone in the future. In the future, you will know that because 5G will be here and it will be another technology that trumps 5G. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you, Elijah. I look like a vampire. I just realized that. I'm sorry, family, if I look like I have dark circles. I haven't slept for like days. Not for craziness, but just for energy. So let me say, in the future, you will notice that we will be able to interface with the air, the hologram, like this, and everything shows up. If you want to get a good idea of this, go watch Lucy. Remember when Lucy woke up? Like she took the drugs in her belly and then she started her colon started to explode and her consciousness started to like expand. And every time she expanded, she was able to interface with the actual hologram. And then eventually she was able to see the biocode. Remember, she was able to see the actual biocodes and she was like moving it around. That's what's going to be the future. Okay. That's why they're amping it up. They want to match the technology coming in as well, because we're going into a higher field of consciousness. And, we have Daddy X coming in the house. Okay. Daddy X, which is Nigerians. They are home. They're coming home. Okay. And they want to try to match. Remember, they're building a force field to try to get out of Comet Atlas's way. Okay. They're building a force field because Daddy X is sending down the Nigerians are coming home and seeing all the dirt done on the planet that they left. That was, their people. And, I had a very interesting discussion because listen, Sea Stars, let me sidebar for a minute. Please put a like on the video if you come in the door, just to let me know you're up for the shenanigans today. I just had an interesting discussion with some Sea Stars. And I said like this, because they think sometimes I'm offensive and sometimes I do offend you. I do apologize for that in advance. I'm not a lover lighter. Let me put that PSA out here. Fleurbrun isn't a lover lighter. I'm not loving light. I don't sit and drink smoothies all day meditating. That isn't me. I do that occasionally because I'm balanced, but that isn't what I do all day. And I'm not from the pseudo-conscious community. I don't try to promote comedicism or unconsciousness to make money off of you. Okay. I'm not making schools and universities and asking you to come and pay thousands of dollars to come and hear me banter or regurgitate things in books. That's not what I do. Okay. So if you come to this platform, just know that I'm just what I am. I'm not coming here to share with you in order to entrain your mind in order to make money. That's not, it's unnecessary. I'm comfortable in my life and I'm grateful. Okay. Just putting that out there. Okay. So, what I will say is I had an interesting discussion, and this isn't a hit to the comedic community, but I'm just really, really frustrated with the lack of growth that the comedic community, the pseudo-conscious community has. All they do is talk about, ancient Kemet, how they're the descendants of ancient Kemet, and how they are, part of, they always quoting things from, the ancient texts, or talking about, Osar, Osset, Osar. They're always going on this banter of all the books they read. Let me explain something. And then they say that the descendants of them. And then there was a young lady who argued about weaves, saying that, oh, the ancient Kemetics have weaves. I'm going to blow your... This is why you shouldn't have conversations with somebody who will tell you the truth. I'm a triple Sag. I'm going to tell you the truth, family. You know why they wore weaves? They didn't wear weaves. They wore wigs because they had cone heads. And you aren't a descendant from those beings unless you have a cone head. If you have a cone head, and you look like LL Cool J or Usher, and you have that big elevated cone head, that's why they wore wigs. They didn't wear wigs because they thought it was fashionable. They wore wigs to hide their ethnicity, their species. Clowneries. I'm sorry. That's insane that you go around saying, oh, well, I wear weaves because in ancient Kemet, you aren't Kemetian. You're not from there unless you're from unless you're from Somalia or Ethiopia, or unless you're from the inner earth and you have a cone head. If you have a cone head, then yes, you are the ancestors of the ancient people who built the pyramids over there. But if you don't have a cone head, you aren't them. So I wish you would stop driving the people crazy with confusing them, talking about you are the descendants of Osar, Osset, Nefertiti. That's crazy. Y'all are really this. Maybe I'm a little old. Listen, family. I'm a woman of a certain age, and maybe because I've seen from a different angle, I'm just tired of that narrative and that being promoted to young people who really want to know about that history. It is okay to admire a history without taking it in. That's a form of colonization. Everybody's talking about Western people and European being colonizers. There's some of you brown people too that are literally bookatarians who are colonizers of cultures that you don't come from. You aren't those people. And like I said, if you have a cone head, you got it. You got it. Okay, so stop. We'll go into the cone heads. But, when I had a whole interesting discussion in the Sea Stars, and they literally backed down because they were like, oh, Fleurbrun, we didn't know that. You didn't know that because you didn't go further. It's okay to read books. Listen, I'm not knocking it. This is what I did for many years. But when you gain some information from third, second parties, that's not you. In order to get information and to source things out, you have to gain wisdom through interfacing in the now. Reading books is of somebody else's narrative. It's okay because people have done a lot of research. I'm okay with that. But you bookatarians, you people who just obsess with books and you are making all kinds of narratives that aren't real. Why don't you tell the people who say they're the ancestors, do you have a cone head? Then you would be the natural beings that coexisted there at that ancient time. That's why they wore wigs. That's why they wore wigs also in ancient in Europe. Because they had cone heads as well. You see all those big, huge... Why do you think your Pope wears that big hat? You think because it's just fashionable that the Pope wears that big, that big thing on his head? You think that's just fashionable, right? No, that's because he had a cone head. They come from a certain lineage that had cone heads. These are all beings that come from that lineage, okay? That's why they wear those big things. It's to hide. It was to cloak themselves, their species. All right, I'm sorry. I'm tired of the bookatarians, the colonizers of information, and they get onto something, and because they don't love themselves and they don't like who they come from, they want to colonize someone else's culture or someone else's nationality or someone else's lineage or bloodline. You aren't those people, okay? If you're from Ethiopia, Somalia, and you have a cone head, then yeah, you got that. But most of the people in the pseudo-conscious community will claim and study things, and because they don't love themselves, love where you come from, love the people you come from, honor your mother and your father. Those are the people that you really come from. Stop getting honored to Osset, Osar, Osiris. I give Ashe to this. It's okay to admire another culture without taking it on because you don't like yourself. Like what you come from. If you're here and you're conscious and you're aware, then that's all you need. You don't have to colonize somebody else's nationality because you feel less than. It's those beings weren't even human. Okay. Uh-oh. I think they probably turned off my feed. I'm sorry. I don't, that's what I'm saying, family. I have to remind you, Fleurbrun is in love and light. Okay. I'm not part of that community. I'm not a vegan Nazi. Okay. I'm not a pseudo conscious. I'm just Fleurbrun. And I've lived a certain life and I've traveled a lot and I have a lot of information. And yes, I read a lot of books, but I've experienced a lot of life. So my wisdom comes from not only reading, but experiencing and gaining wisdom through interfacing and interaction and also research. Okay, so it's coming from several different tiers. Okay, and I don't have a university and I don't have a school because I'm still a student. So when I share with you, I'm sharing from what I know to be at this moment in time. But there has to be rational discussions and a certain kind of discernment. And be careful of these people who obsess with comedic. Like I was watching, I won't say his name. I didn't even know I was subscribed to him. I won't say it. I'm gonna go back on the topic. I'm sorry. I always sidebar. I was listening to this. I don't know I was subscribed to him. I unsubscribed to him. He sounded like a straight preacher. He's talking about all kinds. He's gonna do a meditation. Let me be careful who you meditate with. Meditation isn't necessary. You can do mantras. You can listen. You can give out something, and then get the ricochet of that energy back. But be careful when you meditate with these people. Mass meditations like Wilcock did one. This clown that I deactivated from, he's doing one, and all he does is smile. He sounds like a preacher. He sounds like he's from one of these Baptist church, and now he's talking about comedic sciences and ancestors this, ancestors that. But he sounds like just another religious patriarchy making a new foundation in unconquered terrain of spirituality. Okay? I'm sorry. Okay, so let's go back in UFOs. I'm sorry. I had a conversation yesterday. I like to sidebar into that. No shade, or shade if necessary. But please don't put me in a please don't put me on a pedestal, because I will listen. Don't put me on a pedestal. I don't deserve it, and I'm a student. Okay, but I certainly I certainly won't put others on pedestals, and you have to be careful of these people who are bantering this Hotep stuff and this, thank you, Hotep, and this comedic sciences. These are people who lack self-esteem, because the first person I give honor to is my mother and father. Every time I get on here, who do I talk about? My daddy and my mom. That's who should take credit for Fleurbrun showing up the way I do. There isn't any other ancestor that I will ever give honor to than my own lineage. Blood ties matter. You can have family, spiritual family, but the honor that I give to have this avatar, to be in this consciousness, is my mother and father. They don't have to be perfect, but they shed their DNA, and I am the expression of that. So I give honor to, and see the ashe to my own ancestors. Okay, so just be mindful of these Hotepers and these comedic ancestor bootleg spiritualists. They are preachers. They say they're not religious anymore and they're not corporate religions, but they just jumped onto another religious bandwagon. And if it smells like a preacher and it tastes like a preacher, it's a preacher. Anyway, so let's get back into the false narrative of Project Looking Glass. Blue beam. I'm sorry, I said Project Looking Glass. Okay. So let's just talk about Project Bluebeam and what that is. Project Bluebeam has been in the works for a long time now. When we discuss aspects of this technology, a lot of the extraterrestrials and the interdimensionals and the inner Earth beings have utilized this with forms of free energy and orgone energy and different forms of energy that have been used on the earth at particular times and time frames. Okay, so the Atlanteans had their own form of holographic system that they interface with, and it wasn't called Project Bluebeam, but it's the same thing, just different types of core technology use. It's the same thing. It does the same thing. Okay. So right now we have holograms, testers being distributed all over this planet. And if you've ever, big up to all the family on here who've been with me for a long time, many of you have seen actual UFOs, okay? UFOs, when you see them, not everybody sees them, okay? We talked about this when I first started my show 3 years ago, Aquarius Rising, when we had people calling in and saying that they would see a UFO, but the person next to them wasn't able to see it. Why? It's because you can only perceive and conceive what you're at the frequency of. What does that mean? When you're perceiving an actual UFO, and UFO just means unidentified flying object. Let me say that unidentified flying object. Let me put it in another word. When you're perceiving a craft that is interdimensional or extraterrestrial in origin, why is it that you see it and someone who isn't as awake or aware or a certain frequency is unable to see it? Because that particular craft is only perceivable by those who match the frequency. Okay. So if you are standing there and your homie who's eating, chicken and mass destruction, you can eat chicken and see UFOs. Let me stop. If your friend is just not into ETs or UFOs, they aren't even in the perception that life exists outside of planet Earth. Maybe this is not their thing. They don't even, they're unable to perceive past their own limited consciousness here. Okay. And you're looking up in the sky and you're like, yo, dude, do you see that? And they're looking up too. They're looking and say, yo, look right there. And you're telling them, you're pointing, and they can't see it. It is because they aren't matching the frequency of what is being perceived, what is being emitted from that craft. You can only see to the frequency of what you are. Okay. The difference is with Project Blvd. It is a holograph that everyone can perceive, okay, because it is a movie screen. And the barium allows for the ionosphere to be interchangeable with imagery, with projected imagery. So the barium allows, every time you do the chemtrails back and forth, it's like aluminum. It's a cocktail. It's a chemical cocktail in the sky. Okay. That's why a lot of times we don't know if we're seeing the sun or we're seeing a simulated sun. That's why you don't know if you're seeing stars or you're seeing simulation sky. Okay. Because a lot of times if there's anything galactically happening, we're unable to perceive it because they'll usually just put up a hologram. So you are unable to see what's going on in the sky. But because we're going through a shift and the magnetic field is changing and it isn't as predictable or as controllable, it is very difficult for them to create the hologram. That's why they have everyone quarantine in their house. Okay. They have you quarantine in your house so that when Comet Atlas or, Blue Kachina or whatever's in the sky or, true crafts come, you'll be unable to witness it. Okay. But at this particular time, because you have Saint G being initiated in every country and every land space, this particular hologram can be done at a higher level, and they will do test runs to see if people are able to perceive their initiation of holograms. Okay. So you're asking yourself, what would be the reason that Willy Wonka and his League of Dooms would even want us to see UFOs? Why would they even want that initiative? Why would they even want that kind of, what would be the gain? What would be the benefit of that? To control the narrative. We're going into a new time, a new cycle. In the next cycle that we're now beginning to see the remnants of, we will be interfacing with our galactic and celestial and interdimensional famille. Okay. Whereas before in ancient times, and remember, time construct isn't really real. Time is required to just give a solidification of matter. Okay. So time doesn't really exist. So past, present, and future are all overlapping. Okay. So if you can, past, people would say, well, in the past, the ETs existed and the pyramids. Is the pyramids and the ETs from the past, or is that from the future? You got to be careful with that. Because what you perceive to be the past is only a narrative that Bookatarians have read. if you haven't that information in your DNA that's been unlocked, you can't say for sure if they existed in the past or that's an aspect of the future that hasn't come to fruition yet. Okay, so be careful with that because Bookatarians will give you got to be careful with third parties. I already explained on the other feed that I went to New York school, New York College and University in New York City, and our professors used to send us to a library called the Rizing. It's probably not called that anymore. And the Rizing actually moved place to place every 2 weeks because the information in the Rizing library was what the Willy Wonka and a League of Doom did not want you having access to. So remember, every piece of information that you're allowed to get, if you can go to if you can go to Barnes and Nobles, if you can go to Amazon, if you can order a book online that's been published, if it's been published, that means it has to go through the scrutiny of the Zionists. And as long as the Zionists approve it, that information has already been altered, or that information isn't necessarily true. If it was, it wouldn't be allowed to be published. Okay. And if you don't believe this, try to see the multitude of whistleblowers that had tried to publish books. Because I did have a chance to watch, big up to Marta. She actually let me know David Wilcock and also Corey Good did a documentary. It's called what is it called? I watched it. I actually paid the money to watch it. I forgot what it's called. Is Narda on here? Narda's not on here yet. I forgot what it's called. Anyway, I watched it on Amazon. No, I watched it on Prime. And David Wilcock, Corey Good, all of them made a well-documented perception of extraterrestrial life and how it was, how it came about and how, the Nazis. And it was a well-written, well-characterized documentary. But you have to say to yourself, how is it possible that these men are speaking something that isn't being altered or how is it that they're able to make this on a grand level and make the documentary and allow it to be shown and allow it to be on Prime if it's true? Because it is a narrative of the brotherhood. Listen, Corey Good and David Wilcock and everybody on that, I forgot who else was on there. Everybody on that documentary are part of the brotherhood. They are of the negative roots. Everyone on there, to my knowledge, is negative roots. That means they are part of the controlled opposition. If there was truth, and there was truth to a lot of the documentary. Let me say this because it's not me hating. There was a lot of truth to the documentary. But why is that narrative so freely and effortlessly allowed to be orchestrated and to be propaganda? Because it fills a void of information that people feel is relative and is literally going, because we're going into that time frame where galactics will be interfacing with us, but it is a controlled narrative that puts them still in a higher tier. Because remember, the past cycle patriarchy is all about hierarchy, okay? And the brotherhood, all those males, because remember, I didn't see any brown females in the document. People are like, oh, Fleurbrun, why are you bringing out complexionism? Complexions matter when you have balanced and imbalanced narratives. If you're only getting a perspective of a people that only look phenotype of one, that means it's only coming from that angle. Lineage matters. So if I'm only hearing and only seeing UFO conferences and there aren't any representation of women, especially women who look like myself, who are contactees, who are overt, that means that it is controlled by the same beings that are controlling the opposite equal end. Okay? This is all controlled. It was a wonderful, let me explain this, family. No shade. It was a wonderful documentary. But the fact of the matter is, the fact that it's been set out, put on a grand scale, and propaganda so freely and effortlessly, it lets you know that it isn't the truth. It is another form of truth from one side only. Okay, one side only. So I will say it was a great documentary. I always view it, a lot of truths in it. I won't say anything was a lie, but it's only a skewed narrative of the brotherhood. That's the patriarchy. William, what's his name? William Cox is his name. Wait, what's his name again? Oh, William. I'm calling them all kinds of names. Will Cox and Corey Good are part of a brotherhood. And they're talking about, oh, the CIA is going to arrest people. You're going to be part of the, if there's truly arrests, this is how I know if you're real. If there's truly going to be arrests, you're going to be one of them. Because you're getting paid by the same bastards that are doing the crimes against humanity. You're benefiting off of that system. So for the nature of you giving this narrative of UFOs and ETs and extraterrestrials, if that was the case, I would see a rainbow spectrum of diversity in your banter, in your orchestration, in your illumination of extraterrestrials. Yes, there's reptilians, there's Nega, which they did show at the beginning of the I do it was impressive because at the beginning of the documentary they talk about the Nega who was showing up in India and they had the bluish skin. And nobody talks about, they'll say blue, but they don't say blue black because the blue black people are the Nega. You know that, right? It's just like when what's his name came out in Puerto Rico. I don't know if many of you know I forgot his name. He's on my page. He came out and I don't know if I gave his I talked about him on my show. What's his name? I forgot his name again. He's on my show. I forgot his name. Anyway, he was on my show and he was in Puerto Rico and he was abducted. And he was abducted and he said, I was abducted. I was abducted by black extraterrestrials, and then he said, not Negro. Do you remember? You guys remember? Oh, what's his name again? Oh my God. It's so funny. He said, not Negro. Really? So there's a distinction. So why would that, you know why he said that? Because someone had already talked to him behind the scenes and said, don't you ever make a connection between the dark black beings and Negroes. Because God forbid you could ever let some Negroes know that they could be seeded from some extraterrestrials. You know what I mean? They might drop the 40s and start picking up, some zero technology, right? So this is what I'm saying. There's a control narrative, and that's purposefully blacking out. That's why I had an issue with Carrie Cassidy because of that. And family, that's where we'll go into Project Bluebeam. That's why you have to be careful when they are displaying these UFOs, these light ships, and people are perceiving them that are normal people. These are regular people that are seeing them all over. You have to question what is it that they're seeing, and why is it that people and beings that aren't the frequency of the actual frequency of the ships that are showing up. Why is everyone able to see it? Was it Torin? Oh no, you're talking about something else. Why are they able to see it? Because they are now unrolling what we talked about years ago was Project Bluebeam. They will start to initiate and do testers to see who is perceiving and able to witness these light ships that will show up. Okay? And I won't say this. We already know that we're coexisting with extraterrestrials, interdimensionals, and inner earth beings. That is a fact. I shouldn't even have to, if you are here on my channel, you should already accept that. If you have a problem accepting that and you think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, I'm probably not the channel for you. I would not be offended if you unsubscribe. I will mess with your peace of mind. Okay? I will mess with your peace of mind. People who have been in contact with otherworldly beings have already had the awareness and the heightened ability to perceive at heightened levels of consciousness. By you even witnessing a craft, an actual craft, whether it's interdimensional, interterrestrial, or extraterrestrial, it already says that your frequency is matching that of what you're perceiving. Okay? And because of that, it already places you in a position where you should be able to discern fact from fiction, hologram from reality. They're going to unroll it. As St. G is tested in each city, they will start to activate the holograms to see and to test people, do beta testing, just like the toilet paper, to see who is reactive to that hologram, who witnesses it, how did the people react? How does that show up in their daily lives? Does it make them feel uncomfortable? Do they start posting on social media? It's very easy to detail how we react. Social experiments are so much easier than years ago because we have Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We have all a bunch of places that we can actually see the reaction right after, in real time. Okay, because of that, it's very easy to do beta testing. Okay, so we will see a ton of holograms show up. So I wanted to make sure that you understood and understood that them unrolling Project Bluebeam in order to create a false narrative of alien interfacing or alien invasion. I don't know how that'll play out. It'll either be alien invasion or it'll be another Jesus Christ coming to the world. Okay. I don't see it being Jesus Christ because a lot of rigid religious dogmas are kind of fading away. And with them quarantining and disallowing people to be in churches, I see them as taking a different path than utilizing that. I think years ago, if they would have rolled out Jesus or Moses or Muhammad, it would have worked. But I think right now, I think they might create a narrative that has a little bit of that religious dogma in it, but more so Judaic in practice, more so maybe more so linked to maybe Jesus with the whole Hebrew thing. Maybe something connected to the Zionist. Okay. I doubt it'll be Jesus though. Because I just think to get a whole world globally to believe in something, it would have to be something more universally acceptable. And you have too many infighting with the different religious factors. Was it Muhammad? Was it Allah? Was it Buddha? I think because of that, it's going to be a narrative of something that's more universally sound. And I think having the conception of a extraterrestrial that is, bipedal and humanoid, I think people would more so perceive that and be able to accept that than they would, something that's more artificially, more generically instituted. Okay. So, I wanted to say that because I saw them already doing it. And also when third phase of moon, big up to everyone who saw third phase of moon. I really appreciate big up to third phase of moon. I've been a wonderful subscriber of them for many years. I come from the UFO Intellis community, so I'm about that life. So I've been a part of this for a long time. You know how Delbert Blair. Most people don't realize Delbert Blair was part of the UFO community for since the 60s. And he was talking about well into the 2000s. I've been a part of the UFO community, but in the nature of me being a contactee from a baby, and also me being a party to that community for a long time. So it's nice to see certain people who have been staples in our community, and third phase of moon is one. And I really trust their debunkery. Okay, they're really phenomenal at debunking things. So when you see certain things with third phase of moon, they don't play games. They do show a lot of videos, but they debunk that one with the moon. Okay, and it isn't to say there isn't crafts on the dark side of the moon. There are. Okay, we know that when you die, okay, you get recycled through the dark side of the moon. That's where the recycling of the souls go, and you get recycled there, and your memory is swiped. That's why we try to tell everybody when you transcend. That's why you should become more lucid in your dream state now. So when you transcend, remember, a soul is infinite. There isn't any thing as death if you have a soul. Okay. When you transcend, you should know that you shouldn't follow the false light. That false light is the recycling. Okay. We always tell people, even when my father went, before he went, I said, Daddy, don't make sure you stay away from the light. Listen to, and they'll have holograms of your family when you transcend. So you'll think your grandmother's there. It's always that long hallway. That's the recycling. That's like when the cows go in, when the cows gradually are brought into the slaughterhouse, you know what they do with them, right? The cows are gradually herded closer and closer to the slaughterhouse. So they gradually graze a little closer, they get motivated. And then when they go in the slaughterhouse, they have no idea until it's too late. It's the same thing with the recycling and the dark side of the moon. If that light and those family members on either side, that's a setup. That's so you walk down that path. The true testament of where you to go is you're supposed to stay there for a moment, and then you'll get either a sound, usually a sound, depending on your ancestors. A lot of the native people hear the drums. Those who've had near-death experience, they hear the drums. Some people hear the music, the harmony. Sometimes you hear the music, like the horns, Okay, some people hear the horns, but you will hear something and then you will feel something. So it will be a naturally luminous that drives you in one direction. But if you follow the false narrative, that's why a lot of Christians get caught up in recycling and they come back in another incarnation because they're caught up in the dogmas here. And when they transcend over there, they're still caught up in that whole illusion. So it's very easy for them to be herded into that false light on the dark side and then recycle back into the matrix. Okay. You should always really just, if, like I said, now if you're living and you're grateful to be living, I say you start to become more lucid when you go into a dream state. Lucidity just means you're awake when you're in dream. I haven't had a non-wake. I've been lucid since 13. My father bought me a book when I was 13 about lucid dreaming. I think you guys told me. I think I told you this. My dad bought me a book in like at a boutique, a bookstore in New York and Manhattan. He worked in Wall Street and Water Street my whole life. So my dad bought me a really cool book on outer body experiences. He knew his daughter, and I read it then, and I started to practice. So when I started to practice, I started to become more cognizant and conscious when my dreams say. So first I would start like flying, because once you become lucid, you start to fly. And then when you start to lose your lucidity, you kind of come back to ground and then you forget. So you just have to practice over and over. So practice your lucidity, but this is really another form of Project Bluebeam. It's not the same, but they do the same when they recycle you on the dark side of the moon. So I just want to bring up, definitely I wanted to give a big shout out to Third Phase and Moon. They're about that life. And whenever I want to see validity of a craft, like I didn't really, when I got the craft video I'm sorry, I'm a little messy today. When I got the craft video with, somebody sent me, I forgot who sent me that video. I don't even remember who sent me the video. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I looked at it. It didn't seem like anything, because remember, I've seen crafts of all types. And it didn't look like anything. I saw shadow. I was like, yeah, it looks okay. It wasn't anything that really gave me chills or anything like that. So I don't really work to try to decipher things. The crafts that I can denote are the things I see myself. So I know when they're crafts. Okay. But they debunked it. So if you saw that, just be careful about the videos that are being placed out there. And also be careful of the dissemination of the false flags that are coming with the alien invasion or ships showing up in mass degree and a mass, mass droves. Okay. Or droves. Did I say it? Was I redundant? Mass droves or droves? Sometimes I say words. You ever had like conundrums with your words? Like I'll say mass. Like I tell my daughters not to do double negatives, but I end up doing it too. Like mass droves. No, it's droves. Droves is inclusive of masses. And it's weird because I've been reared in the States, but I have some weird lingual issues that show up from speaking dual languages as a little girl. So let's go into what is the future. Now, Sankji is, and you know what I got? You know what's it's another sidebar. You know what I realized with Sankji? Because I found out, it's interesting. I should know that Sankji was already kind of up and working here a little bit in Orlando, because I was talking to Dr. Don. Big up to Dr. Don. Many of you spoke, Dr. Don from my Patreon videos, right? Dr. Don is my, I go to him as my herbalist. He's a wonderful naturopathic doctor. I had him on my show before. He's my own personal. He's not selling himself. He's just wonderful. He just does this. He just knows this stuff. So Dr. Don and we were talking about it. He said, do you realize that they had already picked Orlando as a test city? I said, what? He said, a test city. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. And I said, you know what? Dr. Don, the children here, now family, we can do a little test shot here. What's interesting is that the little ones here, many of you know my daughter, she has like a skin thing, my little one, she has patches, but it got worse when we moved to Orlando. But I also went to a dermatologist here and I said, why do all the children have patches here? Little white patches, like one, or all the children in Orlando. Listen to me, family. All the children in Orlando. Doesn't matter. They don't have a lot of it, but they have patches on their skin, white patches. And I was like, wait a second. I asked the dermatologist, I said, why is that the case? I said, is that the vaccinations? Because mine didn't have vaccinations. She only had one initial one that I travel with, and that's it. I hadn't vaccinated her. I said, why did it have patches? And they were saying that it could be the interface with the environment, but no, family, fast forward. I realized why they had patches. It's the radiation. Those are patches of radiation exposure. You know how you get electrocuted or you get shocked or like you get burned and your skin turns a certain way? That is from radiation exposure. That's what it is. And I remember meeting a lady that I go to the gym with. Really sweet lady. We go to the gym together and we work out. And she said she had what looked like alopecia. Alopecia? Is it alopecia? How do you pronounce it? Is it alopecia? Alopecia? Can someone spell it? Alopecia? Am I saying correct? Alopecia. Alopecia. Okay, alopecia. Okay, alopecia. Alopecia. Okay, so she has alopecia. And guess what she said? Hi, how are you? Guess what she said to me? She has alopecia. She said she didn't get it until she moved to Orlando. I said, wait a second. I was like, I thought alopecia was like a genetic thing that you're born with. She said she hadn't had it ever until she moved to Orlando. So then I was like, oh, snap. They have been in certain cities. Now you can find out, if anybody wants to find out, go check out your city right now and see what cities that you know have been testing 5G. So see what if your city was a test city. Remember, I live in Disney, the land of Disney and Universal. We use bracelets. I told you, this is the bracelet. Let me show you the bracelet we have. I have a season pass. These are the bracelets that we use in Disney, okay? Everybody see that? These are the bracelets you walk around with. You have your credit cards on here. Listen, you have your credit cards on here. You have your ID on here. You got everything on here. You could pay for food. You get on your rides. But you got to take in consideration. Oh, it's vitiligo. Thank you. It's vitiligo. It's not alopecia. Thank you. It's not alopecia. Thank you. I think it's vitiligo. I'm sorry. I apologize. You pay everything with that. But I just realized that's a form of 5G, because in order to have all that technology with Universal Studios and Universal and also with, Disney, that means that they're using high fields of technology. That means that you're facing with a lot of technology, if not darn skippy 5G. It's 5G. It's got to be that. So I realized that the children here, by the nature of us being in the land of Disney, have been exposed. It is a fungus, but remember, certain funguses do well with certain forms of radiation. They thrive because remember, certain funguses eat radiation. Kind of remember we talked about the black fungus that was in the radiotrophic fungus that was in Fukushima, that was eating up the radiation, the gamma radiation. It actually was feeding off of it. It's the same with this little patches. It's a fungi, but the fungi is showing up because of the type of technology that is causing a depreciation and allowing latching on a fungus. And then the fungus literally is feeding, or it's living, coexisting because of the exposure to little bits of radiation. This is just, listen, I haven't vetted it totally out, but when we were talking about it the other day, I was like, oh, stop. That's why the children here all have patches. It's not alopecia. I'm sorry. It was vitiligo. It was the one where your skin turns white all over. She has beautiful complexion, like copper skin, but she has white patches all over. And she said she did not have the patches until she went and moved to Orlando. She said it showed up when she moved to Orlando. Okay. So she said it wasn't there previously. I said, does anyone in your family have it? She says, no. It only showed up when and she said it got progressively worse over the last couple of years. And she said, this is her own testament. She said when she went to a dermatologist, several different dermatologists, to kind of deal with, it's an autoimmune response as well. They said to her that by living in Orlando, which has a lot of artificial trees, a lot of artificial things, listen to what she said. This is her dermatologist. Her dermatologist said, because you live in Orlando with a lot of artificial technology and also artificial trees, because remember we do landscaping all the time, it is literally breaking down your DNA. It's compromising your immune system. by being here. So I just wanted to throw that in there. So if anyone has like mommies or anyone who has the same thing, I would suggest you do some research as well to see what test cities have already been exposed to 5G. Because I remember when I moved to Orlando and I was coming from a farm, I got hives on my skin the first time I came here. I hadn't ever got hives on my skin until I moved to Orlando. So it says that something environmentally, not only with the different, because remember, I'm a Caribbean girl. When I go home to Martinique or to St. Lucia and even Panama, I haven't ever had an issue with my skin, ever. You see my skin every day. So you guys have seen me for years. The only time I get rashes is in Orlando, is in Florida. It hasn't happened in the Caribbean. It's the same weather, same tropical, component, but there's a difference because there aren't a lot, it isn't a lot of technology being initiated and hampering the system to make you reactive to it. Okay. Okay. So, let me stay on point. Okay. So family, they're rolling out the holograms right now. Be mindful of the things that you watch and do. Be mindful of the narrative, a false flag ET invasion narrative. If they start, listen, if Willy Wonka all of a sudden comes on the screen and says, "Oh, family, we have been interfacing with extraterrestrials," that is a lie. They've always been interfacing with extraterrestrials, and 90% of the people ruling over this planet aren't naturally from here anyway. So by the nature of them telling you they've been doing that, that's a lie, because they are the extraterrestrials. They're going to come on the screen and say, "Oh, that's a lie. A lot of you are shape-shifting reptilians and draconians. Don't play game, play on. We know what you are. I've seen you shapeshift over the last 15 years. Yeah, I don't know who you're trying to fool. You're trying to fool fools because you aren't going to fool us. We've seen you shapeshift, and a lot of you that aren't shapeshifting reptilians, you're grays. You're grays. You're hybrid grays. I wouldn't believe anything Willy Wonka tells me. Please. So when they go on the screen, family, because they're going to do it. When I saw the rollout of the light ships, I was like, oh snap. Oh snap. They're already starting with the shenanigans. We waited for this. I was waiting for this. I was talking good shit. I've been waiting for y'all to play this. I call my homies. You see what they're doing? Yeah, I see what they're doing. Okay, take the popcorn out if you're against popcorn, because all corn has been homogenized. If you're taking out the plantain, chips or whatever you eat, snacks, cherries. watch the exposure. It's gonna be crazy. I don't know what they're gonna bring out. If you want to get up on what you think they may be doing, because they do predict the programming, go watch V. Go watch the season of V, the past one from the 80s, and then watch the present day V. Then you will see. Who's that? Oh, okay. Watch the V. V will let you know exactly how you could probably turn each episode into the reality of what you're going to see play out on NBC, CBS, and NBC. And also listen, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention lately. Am I yelling at you? Please put a like on the video if you're down with the shenanigans today. Am I loud? I am loud. Sometimes, I'm sorry. I am a New Yorker and I'm a triple Sag. And I'm just Creole. Sometimes we're just loud. I apologize if I'm yelling at you. Sometimes I don't realize. Yoga Tom would tell me to shut up. He wouldn't say shut up. He'd be like, you know what, Fleurbrun? You have a lot of internal turmoil. This is what Yoga Tom would tell me. You have a lot of internal turmoil. Even though you fast, I think you need spirituality. I think you need to literally isolate yourself and really turn within. That's what Yoga Tom would tell me right now. He would say, he would call me hostile in a very non-hostile way. Pick up to all the Yoga Toms in the house. As I tell you, I'm not a love or lighter. I do a lot of love and light things, but I am certainly Yoga Tom wouldn't let me in his house because he would think I would bring down his energy. Fleurbrun, I really think that you are in denial, and I think you're a secretive narcissist. So Fleurbrun, I really, I don't want to hurt your feelings, and I know you're very hyper aware. So I will say this to you. I think you need to really tune in, and turn it down a notch. Turn it down a notch, Fleurbrun. I think you're having too much sex, and I think you really need to refrain from having sex because I think that's really hindering your spiritual growth. That's what Yoga Tom would tell me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is what happens when this is what happens if you're not getting sleep for days. Becky Bot doesn't want to bother with me. Becky Bot is in our house right now listening to like 80s flashbacks. She's about to be asleep at 6 o'clock. I'm unconcerned about Becky Bot. Anyway, so what was I saying? The celebrities right now are having conversations with one another. So what I would like you to do for homework. Remember, I'm not a teacher. I'm kind of like this. I'm like the student in your class that always gets you in trouble because they're always asking you to go beyond what's being taught in the class. So people always say, "Well, Fleurbrun, aren't you a teacher?" I'm not a teacher. I'm a student. I'm a really great student, but I'm the one who will get you in trouble because me and you would like sneak off. Go to the bathroom, get a pass to go to the bathroom and start looking through things, and start trying to uncover the secrets of, the establishment. That's the kind of student I am. But make sure that you start to watch and decode the banter of the celebrities. They are drying up. I told you they're melting. The Botox, listen, they're unable to get their Botox, their adrenochrome, their daily dose of, feed from feeding off of the public, you know what I mean? And they are melting right now. So they're having conversations with one another. You should take down the codes, okay? Take down the codes. Start looking at the decoding because they're saying things to each other. They're coding things because they're being locked up. Now, someone asked me, do I personally think that they're actually being locked up? Let me explain something. There's a couple things rolling out. Remember, we're changing cycles. And this is also how I know that if one is in sync with higher consciousness and aware subconsciously of what cycle we're going to into the matriarchy. Like I listened to a whistleblower and all he did was talk about the kingdom of God and how we're kings. And if anybody is bantering about finances only, stock markets and financial, or about religion or God being male, they aren't spiritual, because anyone who has an internal knowing knows that the matriarchy is coming into home court advantage. It is already unrolling. So by the nature of you being aware, it isn't fiction, it's fact. You can even see in your television shows that they've already changed from men in roles to the women. So they've replaced a lot of the men to women. And you also know in Doctor Who changed, and remember the new Doctor Who changed into a woman, but the new Doctor Who transferred into a big, chunky, black woman. Oh, a little loud. Sorry. So a lot of, that's what I'm saying, Wilcock, David Good, all these people, they aren't in home court advantage. I know they have their bunkers. I understand that. But they won't be safe in their bunkers either. The celebrities are fearful, family, because their gods have abandoned them. The beings that they've been worshiping, the demons that they've contracted, have abandoned them. They're on their own. And if they've been consuming children's pheromones and hormones in order to self-sustain themselves and to make them look youthful, by the nature of them doing that, they already lost their soul. They got karma coming in all different ways. And for the pain of every child that they consumed, because remember, in 1 ounce of adrenochrome, that could be 20, 30, 40 children. Do you understand? That's a whole lot of children in one bottle. Do you imagine how many bottles these bastards go through? And then take in consideration that they get karma for the torture of each of those beautiful babies that gets tortured. Now, let me give some intel too, because I got this intel and I know it's a fact. Okay. Big up to the nurse. Oh, maybe I shouldn't give the hospital. Okay. Let me give you intel. This is breaking news. Please put a like on the video in case I get kicked off. I might get kicked off for this one. They may do it. So I just give you a warning. Put a like so hopefully the video say. Maybe I shouldn't give it. Should I give you this? Put a 13 if you want me to give you this. I gotta be careful. Sometimes I give you information and they'll just knock the feed off. I'll do it real quick. Um, okay. Don't do it. Who said it? And Candy said, don't do it. I won't get in trouble for it because it's already no, but they might shut off the feed. Okay, so family, I'm sorry. I'm spelting a little bit. Um, all right. You know the boats that they have parked in New York City, the Navy boats? It's called I think it's called Mercy. Is it called the ship Mercy? Well, those ships. Now, mind you, you may have gotten some intel, but I got the real deal. Remember, I'm a New Yorker, so I always like to verify. See, Fleurbrun, I will get information, and if I can't verify it, I'm really nosy. So what I'll do is I will find people who are in those niches that I want to know to verify something, and I did find out the truth on something. So let me say this: there are arrests being done. Yes. People are being taken in. Yes. I know this for a fact. Okay. It's not to the degree that it's being promoted because it's way different than what you think. But the children under Central Park, and this is verified because I got the intel first from the outside source and then I went to my inside source. Should I say it? I guess one of the hospital Okay. One of the hospital people, I always like to give you proof, but I don't want to get her in trouble because if I say that, she might get in trouble. I'm not going to do that. But let's just say one of the hospital people I know who is not, they're a well-established physician. They let me know that children are coming from the underground that are being taken on that ship from under Central Park. Okay. The children, some of them are deformed. Now, somebody else did the whistleblowing. I think, who gave me that? Somebody sent me the thing and I verified it. They are being taken from under there and they're being put on the ships. Now, the Marines are the first to come and meet those children, the Marines. Some of the Marines are on suicide watch. Listen to me. Two Marines, they're brown, two brown Marines. One lost his wife a while ago. One is, I think he's with a woman abroad. But anyway, two Marines right now are on suicide watch. The children that were brought up from Central Park, some of them haven't ever seen daylight. A lot of them are deformed. There are breeders, women that are breeders that were there, tied up, had sex with or inseminated, and were just forced to give birth to children for sexual acts. These are the kind of devils we have on this planet. Now, they broke the seal. Now, mind you, there's a lot of things going on in the Backlay family. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things. It's not what you think, and it is what you think. At the same point, they're putting them on the ship. Two Marines that I heard, and I know for a fact, they're on suicide watch because what they witnessed in those underground laboratories. That's what they call them, laboratories. They literally hadn't ever seen anything like that in their lives in combat. These men have seen men blown up. They've been in combat abroad. They've seen all kinds of things. They hadn't ever seen that. Some of these children won't survive, like the intel is said on the intel thing, but the other children haven't ever seen the light of day. The breeders had all kinds of scars on their personal parts, ripped apart. These bastards were breeding children underneath the cities of New York and were using them for sex trafficking. And those children are being taken on the ship called I think it's called the Mercy. You guys can verify the Mercy. And it is verified through the nurse. Now, the nurse told me, well, she's not even just a nurse. I don't want to say it. Okay. Let me say this. I had to verify it because I heard it and I know New Yorkers. So I know everybody is it the Comfort? Is it Comfort? I know a lot of people in New York and I know a lot of people of different positions. I had to verify it. I went and asked her because I knew she was there. She told me that they had to sign something because of all the children coming in, and she witnessed it herself. Now, I know her personally. She witnessed it herself. She said some of the children were blind. Some of them were obviously malnutrition. Some of them had deformed heads. Some were cleft, a lot of cleft arms, she verified it. So yes, family, I want to say this, that it is real, that did happen, and it is verified by someone I know personally she's not about this life. Listen, she's not about this crazy life. Me and her discuss UFOs and stuff. Yeah, she's but not like us. Okay, so this isn't somebody who's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You would say Fleurbrun, you cuckoo for. She's in that life. She's in that Matrix life, real way, and she verified it. They're coming through New York, and they're coming from the ground. Okay, so be careful, because it is an arrest. Literally, it's more of a was it not arrest? It's like a sweep. It's a sweep. So they're sweeping. So please send out love to all the babies that were in New York and all over, because there are tons of places like this. But also why this is occurring now, as I say, as above, so below. Whenever you have a changing of cycles, remember, we're coming from patriarchy. Listen, any kind of man or woman that could have sex with a baby, a newborn, can have, wait, hold on. Please make sure, okay, I'm going too far. Please make sure the babies aren't in the room. I do give warnings, mothers, put your buds on, because I may go left. And this isn't something that your baby should ever hear. Not even your teenagers. This shouldn't even be something that they even know exists, okay? Because hopefully the planet would be clear enough by the time they engage in having children. So make sure you put your buds on. I want to make sure the babies are okay, okay? Hold on. Let me state this. I'm starting to look like Morticia. Hold on. I don't have my nose plug in, and it's mad pollen out here. Hold on. I have to have a sucker. I know you guys are laughing at me. I do too much. I didn't put my nose thing in. And when I don't put my nose thing in, the pollen is off the chain here. Look, I got my nose thing here, but I want to put it in while I'm doing the live show. This is another thing you should get, HEPA. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Ricola. Okay, so listen, family. I'm about to go left real quick. I give you time to usher your children out, because any savage that could see a baby and a child as sexually alluring, these aren't human. And if they're human, they're so traumatized and damaged, they need to be removed by any means necessary. There isn't any way that a grown man or woman could see a child and see that as sexually appropriate or even attractive. These are sick people. These are beings that aren't human, and they've been so engrossed in Satanism and Luciferian practices that they haven't any humanity left in them. The same person that would have sex with a child, a baby, would be the same man that would have sex with a corpse, would be the same man that has sex with an animal, would be the same man that should be taken out. There's no locking up for beings like that. They need to be fully removed. There shouldn't be a court case. There should be if you see babies coming out of laboratories that are ripped open from men having sex with it over and over again, these men should be taken off this planet. Do you understand me? So when we have these conversations about the type of beings that we're coexisting with, it's much deeper than you think. Now, these are not extraterrestrials doing this, family. No. These are human beings that are worshiping extraterrestrials. These are the bastard, the Luciferian. When you see, listen, I had to check someone the other day. Listen, if you are part of that low field, someone was talking about the days of, what was it, Ozzy Osbourne biting off bats' heads. Do you remember that? If you could go to a concert and watch a grown man and listen to low field, high pitched, spasmic music that absolutely has no rhythmic pattern to it, and watch him bite off a bat's head and enjoy that, you too are the animals that need to be rid off this planet. Those are the type of beings that do stuff like that. People who engage in watching, because watching is being complicit and in being support of that type of behavior. Bats matter too. That's why you see Wu-Hang and all going on in Xinhua's neck of the woods. You see consequence to people that haven't any sort of connection to nature. When you're anti-nature, this is the type of things you'll participate in. So we have to talk about the fact that we're going into a matriarchy. When patriarchy allowed for that to happen, men have sat around and allowed for women to be raped, to be objectified, molested, and thrown away in the patriarchal system. So we're going into a matriarchy. What do you think will be uncovered? Do you think we can have molesters taking children and raping them until the child hasn't any function in a lower body? No, these bastards have to be removed. So we are going into matriarchy. That's what I'm saying. We have to be rational, because some of the intel is coming out. You got to see, what cycle are we going into? If we're going into a matriarchal cycle, there wouldn't be allowances for that type of behavior. Satanists and Luciferians won't have reprieve or safety on this planet once the matriarchy comes fully online. You will have women with extra abilities taking these bastards out with just their third eye. We're coming for them. So that's why they want to hide you. They want to keep you low field. They want to mute your abilities, because they know if we took 10 women right now and did the do you know why you can't get a CD anywhere but, there's spirituality, there's love and light? How come you can't buy a CD with women, collective women doing the Om sound, which is basically the sound of the sun? How come you can't get that? Go look, family. I want you to go look and go search and see how many CDs or how many channels you will find with women in unison doing the Om channel. You know why you won't find it? Because that would disseminate and it would kill a lot of these bastards who are engaged in that kind of sick behavior. There isn't a mother alive that's healthy that would ever sit idly and allow her child to be used for that. I'm sorry. We're going into a matriarchy, and those beings can't be here. So they got to code it. They got to code it. If you're a celebrity and you're sitting there using children's foreskin on your face because you don't want to age because you're so freaking non-natural. Any natural being on this planet wouldn't age like you because you lost your soul, you bastards, you devils. You're ageless when you're a goddess, when you're in tune with nature. You're ageless. When has it ever been a nasty thing to get a wrinkle? When has it been a nasty thing to show your reverence and your seasonship? That came with devils, narcissistic, sociopathic devils who worship the worship death. You got dead presidents on your money, dead trees. So you got dead presidents on the death of trees. How anti-nature is that? So yes, when people say we're going into New World Order, yes, we are, family, and I accept it. I told you the Illuminazis are not what you think. They aren't illuminated. We are going. You know who's scared of the New World Order? Hold on. Fleurbrun is getting felted. I get, triple fire, son. I get so hot. Grandma, you know who the New World Order? Look at all the people talking about the New World Order. Look at their phenotype. Who's upset about the New World Order? Do you see women that are healthy upset about the New World Order? You know why they aren't upset? because we are the new world order. We are the new world order. We are where it's at. During this quarantine, let me explain something, family. During this quarantine, I've enjoyed gratefully the amenities of peace. My world has only got better since the quarantine. You know why? Because I'm about this life. My grocery list hasn't changed since the quarantine because I was always in balance with nature, with life, with everything. I'm going to still garden during my March and April. Well, I still go out and enjoy myself. My life hasn't changed because I was in balance. So yes, the New World Order is scary to the majority of people. Oh, thank you, Carlin. I appreciate it. Yes, it should be. Oh, thank you, Naima. I appreciate it. You hear that fire? That's right, Naima. Hey, Naima, I miss you, Mama. We gonna make up. We are the New World Order. We are the Illuminated. We are the illuminated. Yes, I accept that. You know why? Because I love children. I love the babies. I love animals. When people call me all kinds of names, I say I'm okay. If I am a witch, whatever they call me, I'm a witch. What do they call me? A bear, whatever they call me, then let me be that. Because I've always been a steward of Mother Earth. I recycle and my neighbors think I'm crazy. But you know what? They do better recycling because I'm on the watch. Because you darn Skippy, my babies and my grandchildren are going to live on this planet. And I'm going to make sure that I leave this planet so amazingly. Thank you, my love. Oh, thank you. It is my duty. It's not I'm not asking you to do it. I'm going to be the change I want to see in the world. I'm the illuminous one. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Divine Atasa. Oh, I love that Tasa. I'm not asking anybody else to do what I want to do. So during this time and this shift, I've been gratefully enjoying it. Thank you. In my town in Orlando, all the tourists of mass destruction who haven't any respect for our city, they aren't here to disrespect our city. When I walk outside, the squirrels, my birds are so much happier because all of the non-human beings who haven't any sort of connection to where they're at and no respect for the terrain that they come to, they aren't here. When I check the mic, my world has become better since this shift. So that's what I'm saying, family. Keep your own narrative. Make sure you're not drawing into other people's fears. When I look at AMTV, oh, thank you. Thank you, Eyes to See. Thank you, my love. When I look at AMTV and all these other channels talking about they're fearful about the economy, you know why they're fearful? Oh my God, thank you. Thank you, my love. Thank you. You know why they're fearful, family? Because their time is done. They're scared about the stocks and bonds. All these things were built on women's backs. All these things were, where are the mothers? Where are the mothers? I want a world where my babies can thrive. Every mother that I know is healthy. It doesn't matter what complexion she is or whatever. That's what they want. These bastards put fear in mothers. They gotta go. So when we come together collectively in unity consciousness, every tongue, every complexion, every nationality, every religion, they are done. So you shouldn't build into their narrative. The New World Order is us. It has always been matriarchy. The Divine Mother is in rulership. That is where we are going. How that shows up is just like this. Fear of their dying regimes. Fear of their lack of control. Fear of their limitations that they've imposed on others. And now they're experiencing it themselves. I look at who's fearful. Look at all the males who are fearful. Look at what they look like. They are part of the problem. Yes, you should be fearful. Because the Divine Mother is coming home. And guess what? Daddy X, which is Planet X, is coming back to make sure that Mama is protected. Because he left for a while thinking he left his guards. And Daddy X is coming back home. And Mama Tiamat, Mama Terra, Mama Aquaterra is now going to be under protection. And as that energy comes in, every female on this planet will now have home court advantage. I know this for a fact. I told you that 5 years ago, and now you're starting to see it. So don't cry the blues for somebody else's woes that they created for themselves. These males, and not all males did this. I won't give credit to all our beautiful males who were just as subjugated to the same crimes against humanity as all of us. But the patriarchal, animalistic, child abuser, animal abuser, these are the same bastards that kill trees for the hell of it. They go and wipe off and kill off trees. These trees are sentient. They are our ancestors. They have information for us. When you kill the trees, you're killing our grandmothers. When is that okay? Do you know the majority of animals that are killed are mothers? When is it that we should ever be comfortable drinking cow's milk, knowing a mother's milk that was for her babies was stolen from her breasts to give to people who shouldn't be drinking milk past 2 years old of their own mother's milk? When should we ever be complicit? When should you ever think it's okay for baby chicks to be mashed together in a conveyor belt, back to back to back, to make chicken McNuggets? When is that okay for us as women to accept another child, another mother suffering? Because we've been indoctrinated and we've been abused. But that abuse is over, family. Let the games begin. Since quarantine, I bet you every woman isn't sitting at her workplace, going to a place where she's in low vibrational form with other males that are indoctrinated and abusive, or around beings that aren't her frequency. Take this time to rest, my loves. This is reset, and this is reset for us. There isn't any hostility because remember, there was somebody who said, why is she so hostile? I love males. One thing you will always see, this is the difference between me and some other females that may show up online. I am in sync with our divine males. I love males. I mate with males. I am fully a female, and I am grateful to be in this form at this time. It is a privilege to be in a female body at this time. And ask anybody who wants to be a female. They admire you for the very thing you have between your legs, because that is the Yoniverse. We're going back to home court advantage, and we're going back to a more healthy place. And if you are respectful to your sisters, if you heal yourself, you will take great advantage in where we're going. So yes, we are going to a new world order, and it is showing up. And those babies being freed from under that ground where these men, because men, mind you, there are women who do diabolical things, but the majority of people who were doing that was men. Majority. Usa, I'm sorry. So just, because when a young lady said, oh my God, there's a new world order. Yes, yes. Ashe. Ashe, cheers. If you want to get your Sauvignon to drink to that, your punch, we call it punch. You get Sauvignon to that, you cheers to that. Do your ashe to that. How many times we've been under the tyranny and disrespected and disregarded. How dare you? I bring life on this planet. I'm the only one who can. So you darn Skippy should respect your mother. If you don't, you too will leave. Got a lot of people who are disrespectful to women on this planet, and how dare you? If you have a mother who birthed you, you should be grateful. The gratitude should go to your mother. Oh, thank you. I'm on fire today. I'm sorry, Goldust. I'm sorry. Thank you. Sometimes I just have these moments. I was in the house. You know what I'm saying? Lot of men who, listen, if you didn't have a mother who loved you, let us show you what that is. Let us show up and be healed, and you will have all these divine mothers. Give us the opportunity. Oh, thank you, sunshine. Give us the opportunity. So my lovely sea stars, sun stars, you know how I get down. I love you. I give you love all day. But I'm talking to my sea stars. It's all love in the hood. It's all good in the hood for our sun stars. So no shade going to you. When you represent for us, we only give you the best. And by you uplifting us to the standard and to the healthiness that we should have always been at, you will benefit. Any man who rocks in a healthy divinity right now, all those men that were abused in the patriarchy, those are the ones they will be down with the home court advantage by the nature of them being in alignment and balanced with us in unity consciousness. We got this. But for my sea stars, please stay out of the narrative of men, balls of mass destruction. That is not our business. Let them fall. Give love to our sisters. send protection to the babies, and you hold your time. This is your reprieve. You got respite. How many times have many of you said, oh, Fleurbrun, I'm going to work every day. And listen, you've got time. Read those books that you wanted to read. Chill out at home. You know, go to sleep and keep your alarm off. Reset isn't bad. Dead trees. We shouldn't have ever been okay with the murder of our trees and using that as exchange. That's sick. You want the backs of our mothers and our matrix, we're using that for exchange? And you're concerned about digital currency? That's part of the matriarchy. That's a disrespect to the mother. Food shortages, the food that matters to a mother so that cows and mother animals can have safety, that's because we were doing things harmful to the female sect on this planet. You shouldn't be eating cows, mother cows. You shouldn't be eating baby cows. You shouldn't be drinking milk. That's for them. That's their babies. When I fed and nursed my babies, y'all talk about my breast and mass destruction. These breasts fed my daughters and allowed them to thrive. It was my own milk. And when I put in my body, I was able to give in nourishment to my babies. How dare you? So yes, food shortages for vampires. Yes, watch the narrative and stop collectively going into their fears. Food shortages for them. Listen, where's I forgot to show my seeds. I just got my purple seeds. My purple, I had to hustle for I'm a little upset though. I know it's a sidebar I'm getting off. I'm a little upset because my purple tomato seeds, I found out that from an Asian vendor. I'm not too happy with that because I don't like what they do abroad. But you should be growing your own food. Shortage for who? For lazy people who sit and go to grocery stores and are allowing animals to just die because they're punks? Go hunt your own food. You want to eat flesh? You want to be a fleshitarian? Go hunt. Go hunt. Go make your own food. Stop being so afraid to do what you were supposed to do. We're not supposed to eat there's no food shortage when you could create your own. I don't care if you live in an apartment. I had girlfriends. Listen, I'm from New York. I went to school in New York City. I had homegirls that were growing stuff in their own house. There's as lazy. Thank you, Tabitha. Thank you. As the Christians say, bring down that fire. Is our time, family. It is. You should be growing. You don't require a lot. You know what I'm growing? You know what I'm growing in my food? I'm growing my collards. And I did it outdoors, but I'm doing it indoors. You could grow everything. Why do you care why do you care? Grow your own stuff. I made my own sandals. We're so codependent on everyone else that we think that the system falling down is going to hurt. If you love yourself, self-sustain yourself, your ancestors didn't rely on outsourcing everything. Make your own things. You could live on dates and sweet potatoes if you wanted to. And you could grow that right now. And it doesn't take any time. You could go buy a sweet potato, allow it to sprout, and put it in the iron, and it would grow. You won't starve. If you fall into the narrative of the diabolical ones, they are hoarders. They hoard yonis. They hoard dead presidents and dead trees. They hoard death. Take your life back. And I don't say this as some person online. I say it as a friend, as a mother, as somebody that you know. Grow your own. You could survive on an orange a day. You could feed your babies fresh fruit from what you grow. I'm making collards tonight from what I grow. You don't need 20 million leaves. You don't have to go to a grocery store. And if you like flesh, and that's okay if you do, but thank you, my love. Thank you, Gex. Can you inform us about the blood type? I will. O positive. Go hunt. Go fish. You know, someone got upset because I call fleshitarians punks. Listen, my uncle hunts. You know he hunts, right? He goes out and hunts and fish. You know what he serves my 100 and soon to be 104-year-old grandmother? He fishes out of the lakes that he goes fishing in. That's what he feeds her. They don't go occasionally to the grocery store, but he feeds her what he catches. Stop being a punk. And some of you sisters, you're about to see some real men show up. Listen, all these beta men that can't do anything. I'm sorry. This is a little shade to the sun stars if you're a beta. But I'm just saying, alphas, you're about to make your comeback. A healthy alpha who is a hunter, who goes out, who's resourceful, will build you a cabin, a cabinet. This is the men that are coming back online. We love you. I don't care if any woman ever told you, oh, I can't be with a blue collar worker. She gonna hope that she had a blue collar worker in her house right now, because we going back to those times. The matriarchy needs strong, virile men who will make masterful babies. Yes, we are. So listen, blue collar workers, the ones who were told that you weren't enough, that you didn't make enough dead presidents to satisfy her sick, depraved, sociopathic ways. The real women in this soon to come paradigm, we will appreciate everything about you. Everything. We will honor you, we will appreciate you, and we will lay well with you and create beautiful children. So if you felt less, you're about to come as above, so below. Below is about to go on. It's the meek that inherit the earth, not these narcissistic, sociopathic baby killers. All these celebrities, those aren't your future leaders. These are parasites. When have you ever lived on a planet and worshiped people who play balls all day? You see how sick that sounds? And you wonder why extraterrestrials would not really show themselves? You have people who worship balls. Men who bounce balls all day, who throw balls all day. Is that something and you put them on a pedestal? Like, oh, I know this guy. I know him. Why? He plays with balls all day. Someone sings music and you worship them and put them on. What? You got a woman called the Kardashians whose leg to fame is opening up her hole of nightmare and having sex online. And she's walking amongst celebrities like they're on the same tier. That's what world? You think extraterrestrials want to be a party to a society that worships nonsense? That's crazy. Call me old-fashioned. Maybe I'm a little old-fashioned. Okay, family. You know what I'm saying? If you go on YouTube, look at the people who have the most subscribers. Do you ever go on YouTube? Remember the ASMR I make jokes? Remember I make jokes about the ASMR, right? I make jokes about the ASMR. Oh, thank you, Yellow. Thank you. You know the ASMR, I make jokes about ASMR all the time, right? You have 5-6 million followers of ASMR. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate it. Thank you, my love. Thank you. You got 50 million ASMR videos with 20 million subscribers. You got people twerking on YouTube who got 10 million subscribers. You have people doing all kinds of like weird. What? Oh, thank you, love. 7 sevens. Oh, I love those sevens. Thank you, my love. Thank you. And really? And you wonder why our society is. We're going to the new world order, and I accept it. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful to be here in this avatar, the way I look, bags, chunky and everything. I'm okay with me. I want you to be okay with you. And instead of feeding into other people's fear, check the mic in your life. Do you have food that you enjoy in your house right now? Do you have 2 hands and 2 feet? Okay. Can you see with 2 eyes? Are you able to talk and be able to convey and relay your emotions, your feelings, what you require? Okay? Do you at least have 1 or 2 people who love you and who you love? Do you have a roof over your head that you appreciate and that keeps you sheltered and keeps you warm at night? Can you walk out of your house and get what you require? That's your life. All these people talking about being great, that's a beautiful life. Not many could say it in other countries. It's a beautiful existence. Accept that. Don't draw into other people's fears and paradigms. They're going to have all kinds of holograms. You got celebrities melting because they've been feeding off of children. You've got all these diabolical, all kinds of children, bastards. Their feeding of children is being depleted because a lot of these things are being, unraveled. Listen, I told you, since quarantine, my life has improved. Thank you, President. Who did this? I don't know. I don't know if it's president. It was my governor. Thank you, Governor of Florida. I don't know who you are. I appreciate it. I could walk down the street and there aren't foreigners from other places in Orlando ruining and building up our carbon emissions. I appreciate it. What in your life has been worse? You lost your job? Oh, thank you, Makilia. Thank you, my love. Thank you. You lost your job that you hated, working with people in grays of lower frequency? They were grays at your job. There were women that were low field, probably Thoughtarians working all over the place. What does that hurt you? You will always have abundance. You will always have, it's one thing I've taught. You will always have what you need at the time you need it. You accept that, you will always be abundant. This is home court advantage for the matriarchy. Women will benefit in every way. So if you feel like you lost your job, no, you gained your sanity and your sovereignty. You gained sanity and sovereignty by losing something that wasn't servicing your highest and greatest good. Eat your mango in peace. Okay? Enjoy watching the 50 million Netflix documentaries on, on the things that you desired to do, but you couldn't do because you had to get up early to go to work. Your children, all children are being homeschooled now. All of us talked about it. It's beautiful. My children are learning from the teachers that I love and I appreciate. What has happened? That's the new world order, family. Who's upset about that? You know who's upset about that? The Super Bowls, the corporate America sociopaths and narcissists, the ones who worship dead presidents on dead trees. The stock market fell. What is it our business? The stock market is an artificial AI construct created by colonistic patriarchal bastards who create it so that they can make money off of the off of the genociding and misappropriation of resources. And you're upset about the stock market falling? Really? I haven't been this happy in a long time. I'm so grateful. My gosh. I hope it's going to get even better. Someone was like, what about the cucarachis? Cucarachis is, do you match the frequency of the cucarachis? I told you, when you feel like something's coming on, dance that sucker away. Turn some good music on, do some juicing, make your smoothies. You can only catch what you're at the frequency on. Cucarachis matches certain people. And it will impede in certain people because they match the frequency. Stay above the rim. Saint G is coming. But remember we said we're going to inoculate ourselves like the Andromedans did. I've already been inoculated by going to Disney. I didn't know Orlando was test run. I'm inoculating myself right now by being on the cell phone. Nobody's trying to hurt you. We get permission for these beings to mess with us. Keep your permission. Have you given permission for them to do anything to you? I rebuke them all. When I get pissed off, I rebuke you. People will come on the phone and try to spell me. I'll be like, oh, I rebuke you. They'll say things like, someone tried to tell me drugs are good. I was like, in your world, listen, you weren't able to spell me because I only accept what I give permission to. And I haven't given any permission for any of these mofos to intercept with me biologically. That's the world I accept. Rebuke them all. That's the best things the Christians gave me. I told you that Christian story. I saw this woman rebuke this savage on the street and it worked. I use that term. Listen, that's the one term you always hear me be like, she's not really a Christian. I was born, I was born into a Roman Catholic, but I use it. It works. My ex called me on the phone and said he wanted to come back. He's in love with me. You know what I said? Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you, Carlin. Thank you. My ex Nazi called me and he said, I'm in love. I feel like I want to come home to you. I rebuke you. It won't be in this life, the next life, or any other life. I have rebuked you. I wish you well. Go on your mission in life. I rebuke you and anything that you want to listen. There isn't any attaching of vampires to my life right now. Thank you, CJ. They're looking for rafts right now. Everybody's looking for a life. Everyone's looking for a life jacket or a life raft. I won't be that to you. I rebuke you all. And that's another thing, family. Watch out for the vampires because they looking for life rafts. Listen, if they couldn't swim because they were diabolical, they were materialistic, they were abusive, let them sink. You should have been learning to swim with the good higher energies. You should have been learning to be balanced within the sea of hope and joy and higher field of consciousness. You gonna wait until now when you lose and everything to try to jump on the ship? Listen, I only have a lifeboat and my children and my love. That's it. My lifeboat is for those who are in my heart space and those who I'm bringing with me to the higher field of consciousness. That's what my lifeboat is for. All those others, I rebuke them. You need to do the same. People are looking for life jackets right now because they lost the very construct of false reality that they've been relying on. Let them go. You put them on your ship. That sucker will go down like you'll see your life raft go down like the Titanic. Won't be today. We can't see our brother Carl. I know it's terrible, Crystal. I don't know, and that's the thing about it. I can't. He only comes on my cash wrap. He can't come in here, and I don't know what they did. I can't get in his channel. I never blocked his channel. It's weird. Carlin, you're probably down with the Galactics. That's why they don't want us Galactics collecting together. So I'm just saying, family. I know I'm hot today. I'm svelting. I haven't slept. None of us have slept. I got the gamma radiation. Listen, I got the gamma radiation and the Senchi all in me. I'm gonna knock on Yoga Tom's door. Listen, I would do it too. I'm gonna go knock on Yoga Tom's door. I'm gonna bring fruit. See if he lets me in. I was like, Yoga Tom, can you see my illumination? I'm just saying, family. I bring a lot of lightheartedness to it. Sometimes it may come out a certain way. It's all love. Listen. I'm on YouTube for this period of time. Enjoy it. Because when I get to my nirvana, my final state, I will do transmissions, but it will come differently. And we should utilize YouTube for what it is, but this won't always be here. And we need to accept that too. This isn't our platform. Eventually in the future, I will come from a higher platform, probably post pole shift, and I will still have transmissions. It just will come in a different form. It won't be on YouTube. It'll be in a different form. It'll probably be galactic. I'm going to hopefully I get technology and I've done, hopefully the Galactics feel I'm worthy enough and I will come to you in another transmission. I will. But this is a moment in time. I don't require anything from you. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a wrestler. I'm not a referee. I'm not any of those things. But I am a conscious being having a conscious experience in a holographic system. And I'm grateful to be here. Like I thought yesterday, I was like, you know what? I love that I'm here. I love that I'm here. I love that I'm grateful that I'm still existing here in this avatar. I really am. I really have appreciation. I've been on YouTube for a long time. And I was like saying yesterday, I was like, I don't really do graphics. Like I don't, listen, I don't do graphics. I was telling Nora and Selma this. I'm really lazy. Let me keep it real with you. I'm really lazy, family. I don't want to sit on the computer and do graphics just to come to you and keep it real. A lot of people come on here and they're like, oh my God, can you just stay on topic? I'm a real person. You could go to other platforms where people have writings and notes and they're just biobot, they're synthetic ready for you. They stay on task. I'm not a biobot. I'm a real human being. I'm actually real. There isn't a, I'm coming to you just as I am. I'm sweating now. I got bags. What do you want? An artificial intelligence being? All right. That's what I do. Sometimes I say things that are a little too real and okay, I get in trouble. It is what it is. but that's just who I am. I figured the first time I came on YouTube, I was gonna come as I was just gonna come and have a conversation. YouTube's become a whole big thing now, but I just came on YouTube to find one or two people who were actually having the experiences I was. It really wasn't that serious. It's turned into something different. I'm so grateful to meet every one of you. I am. But I'm so grateful that there are people that are part of our consciousness. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. So, um, just watch the shade. And yeah, I do throw shade sometimes. Like I said, I was watching I didn't know I was subscribed to someone online, and sometimes I get a little disturbed because I am a Sagittarius. Sometimes I get a little disturbed, and I was listening to I figured I was like, oh, I didn't know I was subscribed. And I listened to him, and he pissed me off. He really did. I was like, you are so false. You are so false. You are confusing so many people by coming on. You came out of religion, but then you create a whole religion by being in this in Kemetic, talking about ancestors, talking about Osiris. I was like, wow, they got artificial beings out here, or people that are just taking advantage of an open field that isn't quite settled. So they take their religious behavior and they bring it into Kemetic sciences. So, I just was upset at myself. I was like, I don't want to listen to this. And it is judgment, but I just see that people get caught up in that. But I have to also realize you can only get caught into something that you already resonate with. If you resonate with beings that are artificial, if you resonate with beings that are violators of women, oh, thank you, Mecca. I appreciate it, my love. Why are you getting so hot at night, even with AC on? Why am I getting so hot at night? It's daytime, mama. It's not night. Look, it's daytime. It's daytime here. It's hot because it's hot. I'm in Florida and I got clothes on. You guys get after me because sometimes I have my bosoms almost, I'm busty, and then you get mad at me when my clothes are, love, I can't win. Thank you, love. I appreciate it. Sometimes y'all get mad at me. I come at night in my robe and then I get in trouble because you say I'm busting out. And then I come in the day and I'm hot and I got clothes on and then you get upset at me. Which one do you want? I'm wearing clothes. I'm just saying. There's extremes with me. It's extreme. Like people actually make jokes about that. It's extreme. I don't like clothing. Let me explain something. I'm not a pervert. I don't twerk online. I'm a mother. You haven't ever seen me naked. You haven't ever seen anything pop out totally. But I'm a mom. I don't like clothing. I'm a native woman. I come from indigenous people. Actually come to be family. I'm 67, what is it? 67 or 70% mixed with the Arawak. It's a mix of the Taino, Arawak, and the Carib. Do you realize that, family? You realize that, right? So my family don't wear, in Martinique, we don't wear shirts. I'm wearing a shirt to be respectful. I'm being honest. I don't, that's for us, any Creole women on here, Latin women, I understand. That isn't, in my world, that isn't disrespectful. In your world, some people have been so colonized with clothing that they feel like my breasts are like, I'm not shaking my breasts. They're my breasts. They're real. I'm not doing anything horrific. I'm not showing you anything, but they feel like it's disrespectful. And in our world, we didn't wear tops. So yes, I know it bothers some people sometimes when I come on here, but I'm wearing clothes. So it's extreme. I don't apologize. I used to apologize all the time. It is what it is. I'm a busty babs. I'm going to be like this for a while. Oh, she's speaking in general? Oh, Fleur, you need some sleep. Oh, she's speaking in general? Listen, I just heard what I heard. Half the women are suffering from wearing brassieres. You know that, right? Patriarchy made us wear brassieres. That's a form of enslavement. It's a form of enslavement, right? Don't get me started. Encaging your breast is a form of enslavement. The reason why a lot of women get a lot of breast issues is from putting on a bra to keep savage men who have no self-control to control themselves. You know how many societies where women don't wear brasiers and their breasts are out and men aren't raping them? You know how many societies exist like that? The reason why is because men aren't trained properly. Mothers, you need to train your males. They shouldn't see breasts as sexual. They shouldn't. That isn't sexual. Between our legs, maybe, but not here. That's not sexual. That's sick. The fact that a man can't control himself when he sees that, it allures a man because I look like a mother, so he may want to mate with me to create children. But that shouldn't be like the end all. That shouldn't like drive him to want to hurt a woman to see her breast. That's sick. That's some sort of mental illness. Anyway, I went on a tangent. I'm sorry. The sea star was like, tell us. They were like, Fleurbrun, we were just mentioning something. Yeah, I'm just saying. So, be mindful of the narratives online. I just, I just made a decision. I said, I won't be rocking. I'll just stay in my lane. I stay in my lane. I don't really get involved. And also today I decided to unsubscribe myself to places that I shouldn't be subscribed. That's why I tell people all the time, if you're on my page and you're disgusted, you should unsubscribe to me. I don't require a subscription. You should unsubscribe to me if you don't like me. There's people who are subscribed to me who come here every day. They don't like me, but they come here. They like something about me. But I unsubscribe to people like him, that guy. I didn't like him at all. And I don't like him because he's attached to another sea star who's a home wrecker. So I don't like her. That is judgment, but I won't. You won't ever see me attached to a woman who's a home wrecker. A woman who likes to sleep with women's husbands and is a perpetual line stepper. You won't ever see me attached to her. I won't do it. I'm not subscribed to that being either, because she's disgusting. Any woman who doesn't like women, I'm not for you. I'm a sisterhood. My mother was friends with women. I do well with women. If you are a violator of women, you're an enemy to me. Listen, man or woman, if you are enemy to sea stars, because you can't handle being in a field of, if you can't be balanced, you shouldn't resonate with me. Because I love sea stars. I do. They check me, I check them. But I won't be aligned with women that are anti-women, because that's also a testament to their consciousness. Oh, thank you, Purple Goddess. I appreciate it. Oh, O positive. Okay, let me get an O positive. What would you like to know about O positive? Oh, who's not doing well? Wait, hold on. Crystal said, check on your friend John X. He's not doing. What's wrong with John X? John X is good. John X. Let me speak on John X. Speak up to John X. John X is just he's getting a lot of intel. It's probably pissing him off. That's why I have to start. Listen, let me give a shout out to my homie. Listen, John X. Stop taking intel for. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. Oh, that's beautiful. I appreciate Tiffany. Thank you. I appreciate my love. Love and light, Fleur. I appreciate it. John X. Let me talk to John X. John, stop talking to these people. They just gonna get your tail feathers all ruffled. If you talk to too many people about all the woes of the world, it'll just piss you off. You got to be careful about where you take information from. He gets information from a lot of different people, and John X is one of us. Big up to the O positive who brought up the O positive. Is very relative. John X is an O positive, so he's my cousin, right? So he is one of us, and he's connected to the nega. Anybody know that? He's in contact. The nega comes to John. We've had conversations about this. So John X is part of the nega, even though he's fair skinned. John X is part of the, that's why he likes brown people. He does. He resonates with brown people because he's part of the nigga. Okay. He's a light-skinned brother from another mother. So John X because he has a lot of these low field preppers contacting him, it bothers him. And you can't take intel from everywhere, because people who have low field lives, who are giving you, disseminating information, they bring their low frequency on you. So if you take he gets a lot of information from a lot of these low field patriarchy, men that are anti-establishment, but they hate brown people. Okay. And it probably pisses him off learning all the reality of things. John X is fine. He's connected to the nigga. He's fine. He goes in. He'll go in. He's probably upset and frustrated because he has a lot of subscribers that come at him all the time. That's all. So let me state this. I know for a fact John X is okay. He just has a lot of pent up energy, and he gets a lot of feedback from people that aren't matching him. So it pisses him off and it throws him off. I told, he always, listen, he's my cousin. So I don't vouch for anything that he does, but I vouch for his soul essence. And he is one of the O positives. And he does have contact from the celestials. And that's why me and him can have an interface. But he'll be fine. He's having a moment. And you see me, sea stars and sun stars, you see me blow up. You see me cry online. I have meltdowns sometimes online. It happens. You're seeing people in real time. He should, when you see him keeping it real, that's a good thing. When his emotions are present. Go to some of these biobots online who have no emotion. Oh, this is happening. They have no emotions. He's emotional. He has that vigor in his soul. He has fire in his soul. That's what we want. O positive. Listen. O positives are passionate because we're connected to the planet. So he feels it, and he has a nega connection. So he feels the Niburians coming because Niburians are connected to the O positive. So as planet Daddy X comes, I call him Daddy X. My phone is about to die, so I got to be careful. What do I have it on? Let me plug in my phone, family, before it's going to be a little white noise. I got to take this off because the phone will just die, and I won't know it, and it'll just stay on. I'm sorry, I have to take it off. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, I think I plugged it. Okay. Listen, Daddy X is coming home. That's the Niburians. O positives are connected to the Niburians. Okay? Because that planet's coming, you're going to see a lot of the O positives start to get empowered. It's almost like a vibration. Like they start getting like, oomph. It's like a booster, like puffs up his chest, like, oomph. Okay? That's because, remember, O positives go into home court advantage. Remember, as above, so below. O negatives had home court advantage for a couple thousand years. Now it's O positive. If you don't think I'm telling the truth, go look at all the presidents and see what blood type they have. They aren't in home court advantage anymore. It is now the O positives that will hold the higher tier hierarchy. Doesn't mean anybody else doesn't have power. It just means they'll be in those positions. So because Niburian's coming in, he's feeling it. And a lot of O positives are feeling it. So they're getting that oomph, like that what is it called, bravado, like this feeling. Okay. So because of it's changing guards, you're gonna see a lot of people get motivated or defeatist. Okay, depending on what side you sit in the next paradigm, that's how you'll feel. So if you do feel scared and overwhelmed, it probably is because that is where you're going. For those others, you should feel cool. And that's why I said check your mic. Make sure you aren't pulling other people's emotions into your world. Because what's going on in the world, unless it's in your house, unless you're experiencing it firsthand, that hasn't anything to do with you. You know what I mean? Check your world. So as far as John X Ari, he's an O positive. He's connected to the nega. He may be wilding out because of all the craziness going on with his intel list. Like, I don't want intel from everybody. I like intel. Let me explain something. A lot of people will come to me and try to give me intel. I'll take some, but if you aren't matching my frequency, I won't take your intel. If you are matching me. I love to take intel from mothers and grandmothers and sea stars. I do. Maybe because that's what I represent. So I like to take to the level and frequency of what I am. So I accept a lot of intel, more so from those who match my frequency in my how I exist. So I'm just saying, if he's getting a lot of intel from all these sources, he's probably pissed. It's too much. It's too much. It could be overwhelming. Yeah, you got to be careful taking too much. He's living in a beautiful place. He has his family with him. He's actually. Do you see his beautiful? He's living in a mountain. He's living in a beautiful place in the mountains. He looks amazing, amazing. He's healthy. Remember, he had a little cold. It's over. He looks healthy. He's in a beautiful. That's what I'm saying. If John X checked his mic, he'd be all good in the hood. There's all these other people outside of him, probably stressing him out, calling him every night, keeping him up. So people are asking about negative. Let me explain something. First, the matter beyond all blood types. All blood types. Matriarchy has home court advantage. Let me state this again. Matriarchy has home court advantage. If you are a woman, if you are a mother, if you are in a healthy disposition with other women, if you represent the sisterhood, means you aren't a thought of mass destruction, you aren't someone who's a homewrecker, wrecking women's life or aligning with males that hurt women, you are in home court advantage. It doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter what your blood type is, you are in home court advantage. Above all, women are in the home court advantage, the matriarchy. Okay? So let's get that out of the way. Okay? Positive roofs, because as above, so below. The meek inherit the earth. The positive roof has a natural connection to Terra. Negatives aren't from here. Remember, they're off-world blood. Niburians coming home, and it has a connection to the natural Terranians that exist here. That's why they go in home court advantage when daddy comes home. Positive roofs being the connection that they have to the planet coming in and also to the planet they're coexisting with. Remember, they're a child of two worlds. They're a child of Nibiru and they're a child of Terra. Because they are the child, the offspring of the planet, they are in home court advantage. Okay? They will be healthier. They will be able to have certain, accessibility to some of their abilities. Okay? They do. Negative roots, it doesn't mean that you're going to be X'd out, but it means that you had your reign. That's what I'm saying. And you got to be careful, because if O negative, you realize that all your presidents have been negative roots. All of the people that have held power for the last 1,000 to 2,000 years have held negative roots. You can't prove it beyond the 40s because we didn't have blood types previous to them. But you've held power. And you must be happy and grateful and also allow for others to have the same access to those privileges. It's not a privilege, it's just the frequency. So it isn't going to, if you aren't hurtful to people, if you're not diabolical, it's not going to bother you. But a lot of the people that were doing a lot of the diabolical things were negative roots. Okay? You don't have to believe me. Go look at history. Look at all the laboratories. Look at all the scientists. Look at all the Zionists. What blood type did they have? Okay? That's it. But if you're a woman and you have negative roots, you actually do well. It's mostly the males who are negative roots who are going to have issues. It's mostly males. Okay? And because they obtain privilege in the last paradigm, they won't have the same privileges in this one. That's it. And it shouldn't. If you are balanced, you would be happy for others to have a reprieve. It's about reprieve. It's not advantage. It's not superiority. It's reprieve. It's just reprieve. Listen to what I said. It's not advantage. It's not superiority. I'm not sitting here. I'm not the one. It isn't superiority. It is reprieve. Peace. Won't be victimized anymore. Okay? If you think I'm telling the lie, go look at South America, Central America. All the people where all the O positives have been. How have they done over the last 1,000 years? 1,500 years. They haven't done so well, right? Look at the conquistadors, the people who went into Central and South America, into North America. They were all negative roots. Okay? Blood lineage of the Draconians. Blood lineage to off-world people off-world beings who had colonized the planet after Niburians had left. That's all. So now Daddy X is coming home. The Niburians, bloodlines, lineage from the Niburians and the natural Terras will hold home court advantage. It makes sense. So it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Okay? And it's just reprieve. It's just reprieve. Okay? Not all negatives were doing diabolical things to people. There's a lot of old negatives who did positive things for people. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the lineage that held the position of power. Now it is going in the inverted position, as above, so below. That's what we talked about sleep. A lot of us who are nocturnal come from nocturnal beings, but also because the poles are shifting, what is night is going to be day and what's day going to be night. So a lot of us can't go to sleep because our poles, our magnetic field is fluctuating, disallowing for us to sleep properly. That means that if we were normally asleep at 8 o'clock at night, and one of the sea stars said she was in parts of Asia. Thank you, my love. Thank you, Shayna. I appreciate it. You're not gonna. You won't have. You won't be able to sleep at those times because we're going in the inverted time zones. That's all. And again, family, if you think I'm cuckoo for cocoa, I always let you do this. You don't have to agree with anything Fleurbrun says. This is the wonderful thing about free will and free choice. You can hear what I say. If it doesn't resonate with you, throw it out. If you want to verify what I said, do your research and don't Google it. Do real research. Look at information that's not orthodox information. Google is already hijacked by Zionists. Anything from Google has been hijacked. If you're getting information from Google, you're psyopted already. Google is banned by Zionists and their narrative, okay? Do your own research and also do research abroad. So if you're in the States, go do research in Europe. If you're in Europe, do research in Africa, okay? Because you get better research from outside of your jail cell. Wherever you have your jail, wherever you have your jail cell, you do better. So just research. You can verify or non-verify what I say, because I could be truthful or it could be just confused. Okay, verify. Okay, I told you 5 years ago it was going to go into a female home court. You've seen all your movies transfer males to females. I said it would happen like that. That's the first stage. You see all the system collapse, and any system that's collapsing is based in patriarchy. Okay, so everything, children being molested, that's all patriarchy. Okay, so what does that say? So yes, I accept the new world order. I plan to be in home court advantage in the new world order, and I accept it. And I plan to be healthy to children and women. I plan to be an advocate and a steward to Mother Earth, Mother Terra, Mother Aquaterra, and I plan to be a healthy, balanced being in unity consciousness. I haven't ever been here as a superior. Somebody called me a superior. I have a superiority complex. How could I have a superiority complex? If I had a superiority complex, I wouldn't come on here with bags nor chunky. I would lose weight, wear makeup all the time to hide my bags, and wear my hair done. Because I would want to show you a perfected value of me. I would never let you see me as me. I wouldn't make mistakes when I talk. I wouldn't apologize. That's somebody who has a superiority complex. I'm far from that. I'm humbled by my experiences. I am, every day, all day. Okay? So be mindful calling me a superiority complex person. It isn't me. I rescue squirrels. I love my children. I am a proactive mother to my children. Half the time when you don't see me is because I'm with the babies. Okay? I love my little children. I love my children more than life. I love my children more than anything on this planet. I will go to bat for my offspring. I love them. And those are my first loves. There isn't anybody here, anywhere, that takes the place. They are above anything. That's how I roll. So that's me. You can't be a superiority person and put children first. Superiority makes you prioritize yourself, and your children are a reflection of your perfectionist state of being. Huh? So anyway, family, I think I'm done. What time is it? I'm gonna go. I think I have to make dinner. I already started dinner. I made some couscous. I made some curry couscous. I actually did it with saffron. I'm gonna make a video when I get my this sidebar. I'm gonna make my video when I do my hydroponics, because everybody wants to see my gardening. I love gardening. And many of you know during March and April is my gardening time. So big up to all the gardeners. I have all my seeds. I got heirlooms. I had to hustle. I had to do a little Nazi hustle to get some of my seeds, because they trying to mess with the seed exchange this year. I have my seeds, so I'm gonna do videos. Maybe I'll do it on my other channel, because I don't know if you guys want to see it. I don't know if you want to. You can. I can do it here. I'll show you some of the things that I do with my gardening, my composting, and we could do that together, because I love that. So I'm gonna I had to get seeds, and we'll discuss this when I do the video. But I always tell you at this time when we're shifting into a new paradigm, get seeds of things you eat already. So if you eat cucumber, like we like cucumbers, I love collards, I love Swiss chard. I love my purple Swiss chard. My little one is very sensitive to tomatoes, so I do purple tomatoes because they're less acidic. I make castor oil, because anything that you use, you should get the seeds to grow. Okay? So if you use oregano, you should get heirloom oregano seeds. If you use castor oil, you should grow your own castor oil. If you use thyme, you should grow your own thyme. I eat globe grapes. I grow my own grapes. I did purple because I love moon grapes. Many of you, you know I love Concord grapes. It was really difficult. I know I'm sidebarring from anybody in here. I apologize. But for those who are doing the Concord, it was really difficult this year. For those who are gardeners, you know what I talk about. It was hard for me to get the Concord because Concord moon, they're called cosmic grapes. A lot of the people are being harassed by Willy Wonka and disallowed from exchange this year. So I had to hustle and I had to pay a lot of money for my cosmic. I love Concord. So Concord is a really dark grape. This one's really dark. So I'm going to show you when it comes. I have the little bushel thing. So I do grapes. So if you're going to do anything inside garden this year, I'm going to show you the hydroponic. This is the first time I'm doing a hydroponic in my house. I haven't ever done this. I've done it outdoors. I've never done it inside. So big up to Narda, because I think we're doing it together. So you'll get a chance to watch me do the hydroponic inside. I'll show you my secrets to composting. And also I triple filter my water and I magnetize my water so my plants really, really thrive. So I'll show you what I do. It'll be really fun. And that's what I'm saying, family. Stay out of the fear. You aren't going to starve as long as you are proactive in your life. Be your own change you want to see in the world. If you wanted to garden, this is the time to do it. And you can grow everything you eat. Everything you eat. And if you like meat, go hunt. I wouldn't do certain things now. You be careful because it's like mad deer disease and all that kind of stuff. Do it after the shift if you're going to do that. But, you know, you could fish and so on. You could do those things yourself. Why are you reliant on others to supply food for yourselves? You should know how to filter your own water. Why are you relying on them for water? We have to be more independent. This is what the new world order is. Accountability for self. I can't be your sister's keeper if I'm not even responsible for myself. I wouldn't be a good sister. I have to be a whole person. It's like a relationship. I have to be accountable for myself fully before I can even be down with you. You wouldn't want to be my friend. Because if I'm not accountable and I'm not self-efficient, I'm not a very good friend. I'm not a good partner. I'm going to come to you whole. So I have to be self-efficient. I have to be self-accountable. And then I guarantee you'll respect me more and I'll respect myself more. Okay? That's it. So I just say to you, I come to you as me. You can like me or leave it. The one thing you won't ever, I ask for likes only so my videos stay up because they attack my channel a lot. But you aren't required to subscribe to me. Don't subscribe to me if you feel that I give you information that hurts you or your family. I won't ever be responsible for that. If you feel I'm hurtful to your family or to you, you should not subscribe to me. I don't want to hurt anybody's family. Oh, thank you, Monica. I appreciate it. And a cookie. Oh, I'll do cooking. Oh, I'll do the... I love... Oh, my God. Look, my squirrels are talking to me, too. They get upset because they want me to give them some... I don't have any more fruit. They want me to give them fruit. Look at them. They look at me. They watch me. I would love to do... you guys like what I do? I do a really good dessert, a raw. I like to do raw stuff because it's so good, and I try to stay as raw as possible. But I do the best raw dishes. That's like my specialty. I love raw, and then I play Caribbean music. I'll wear clothes. I don't like to cook. This is my thing. I'm so Creole. I like to play zouk, or soca, or merengue, or bachata. I like to play really spicy island music. I don't like to wear any clothing. Tops, at least tops. I don't like to wear tops, and I'm serious. I like it hot in my house. This is my paradigm. This is where I'm going in the future. I'm going clothless, and I'm making raw stuff. I make my food taste like goddess. I'll do that one day. I'll put clothes on though. I won't not have clothes. I won't get arrested. They'll shut me off from YouTube. If I go, you want to see my YouTube channel get shut off real quick? That would be funny. Raw, naked, and unafraid. What happened to Fleurbrun? Well, Fleurbrun decided to go topless, and the whole YouTube was shut. Every video shut down. Yeah, that's too raw. No, and my partner will lose his mind. He will lose his mind. Could you imagine? He saw one of my videos. He's like, listen, babe. He's like, that. He was like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be mindful. Anyway. So I already cooked part of my dinner. I made couscous. I made couscous with, I did turmeric couscous, but I added some saffron. And I got saffron, really good heirloom saffron seeds. So I'm making saffron. So I did saffron and I did that. And I'm going to make these wonderful veggie rolls with it. I have some leftover peppers that my lizards eat peppers here. It's weird. It's like I sliced my peppers, and I think I have some shallots. I think I'm gonna do shallots with them. And then I have I know I'm cooking in my head. I love doing this, and I'm teaching my little ones to make these things too. So this is time. We should do the children. I'm gonna do, when I get to the sanctuary, I'm gonna do the children's version of raw cooking. Because I think the babies, my daughters I teach them, I'm teaching them different ways to make different things, and I want to give them the system. So I make everything and I show them, and then I allow them to add their own creativity to it. Because I want them to be able to flip their own meals. So yeah, so they're having fun with that. So I show them like the unorthodox way to make things that mommy makes, and then I let them add their own little, flavor to it. What kind of water? I filter, okay, so listen to this. This is a little cheat sheet. I filter my own water. I have a triple filter at home, and I magnetize it. But I get bored of water because I drink it all the time. But I do drink Blvd. Now, people ask me all the time, why Blvd? Now, many of you who know I'm from Mount Vernon, big up to my Mount Vernon brethren. What you don't know about me, this is a fun fact. I grew up next to Denzel Washington's mother, and I knew Denzel Washington my whole life, okay? And Denzel Washington's mother used to cut my hair. The first haircut I had was Denzel's mommy. She cut my hair. That's back in the days when salt and pepper. Do you guys remember when you had half short and the other half long? She was the first person who cut my hair. Okay, this is a fun fact. He was doing a show. This is years ago. Remember, I'm seasoned. He was the one who said, you should try Blvd. And I said, why? He said, because the water molecules are so small that it's more adaptable, it's more absorbable in the body. So this is like over 20 years ago. He told me this. I think it's 20 years ago. How long ago? Miss Washington, she lives in the South now. I can ask my mommy. My mom remembers. Sad, my mom remembers more than me. Yeah, so I totally drink Blvd. And I drink it once in a while. I stop the oxygen water. I switch up. So I drank oxygen and hydrogen water for a while. And then I stopped. And then I drink Blvd. I switch. I get bored of water. So I drink different waters. So you should try it. I like Blvd though. It's really refreshing. Especially with all the radiation. With the Sanct-G. They're pumping so much Sanct-G. You're probably feeling all the electric. They're pumping all the estrogen. The Sanct-G. I felt it the other day. I did. I felt the radiation. I was like, oh, snap. So you're gonna feel it. You got to stay hydrated. We've got to transmute the radiation from the Sanct-G. We're gonna take in the gamma radiation, but you got to mute it. You got to try to, because it's coming. They're gonna bring Sanct-G regardless. So rather than fight it, you're gonna have to take it in and transmute it. That's it. Rather than resist, because whatever you resist persists. Take in the energy. It is energy. It is energy that you can utilize. If you consciously take it in and transmute it, then when it interfaces with you, it won't harm you. But you got to start doing it now, because when they kick it up, it's gonna go 100-fold. That's all. Oh, the Uber drivers. What are they saying? What happened to the Uber? Oh, wait, hold on. Look how close I got. You can see my teeth and everything. How come I can't do that? Look how close I got. You saw how close I got? Okay, there we go. What did you say? I was reading a comment. Where'd it go? Oh no, I can't. Where'd it go? Come on, dear. I didn't see the comment. I'm sorry. This goes so fast sometimes I can't read all the comments. Oh, it was retracted? Why? Was it bad? Why do you retract your comments? This guy, sometimes we got chew one that came, I don't know where they came. It's not, no shade. But Shinwa came into Orlando. They came out of the blue. They've never lived it before. You know, it's just like brown people when they show up. People are like, where did they come from? They just showed up. There's a nerve to be all in my Kool-Aid. I wonder if it's difficult to grow chickpeas. No, chickpeas are fairly easy. Peas are easy to grow. Just the soil matters. When you grow your own things, soil matters. So it just matters with the pH of your soil. Some pH, some things like people who grow a lot of corn, they have a lot of phosphorus. Corn leaches, it takes a lot of phosphorus. So you can't grow anything. After people grow corn for a long period of time, I tried it. Ooh, the soil needs to be enriched. So what I say, families, you should start doing composting now. Do it very naturally. You could do composting. You may need worms. If you're like an apartment or something, you may have to get worms. Now, if you don't like worms, listen, family, some people get grossed out. If you don't like worms, you can buy them from farms, okay? You're not going to hurt them. But my little ones, I compost in my own natural thing. But if you're in an apartment, you may have to buy them or go pick them yourselves. Some people get skeeved out. Worms don't hurt you. They're not diseased. There's more diseases in, you know, a grocery store than there is in the soil, okay? You can go get your, you know, people get squeezed out of bugs, especially if they don't garden. You need, in order to compost, you do need worms, okay? Properly compost. Because they consume that, and they're, I know it's going to gross you. The poop is soil, okay? Your soil is basically like insect poop, which most people don't like to listen to. But they make your soil rich. That's why when you're in the farm, when I had my farm in Pennsylvania, I would go and get manure, fresh manure from the other farm. He would give it for free. So you go and you chuck up your manure, and I would take it and put it on, because remember, cows eat a lot of grass, and my garden would thrive. You know what I mean? So everything is about poop. So the toilet paper apocalypse is really, yeah. You have your own chickens, yeah. So people have their things. Professional therapy is legit. I love chickpeas. I'm gonna do chickpeas, and also try to get your own seeds, your heirlooms. Always get heirlooms. It's really hard. Us in the seed, a lot of the native groups, we exchange. If you come from certain native backgrounds, they do exchange with each other. But because of the Willy Wonka shutting everything down, it was really difficult doing seed exchange this year. It was a little more challenging. But you want to take heirlooms. Heirlooms of seeds are 50 years plus. But most people can't get true heirlooms. So I always say go to a farmer exchange for your heirlooms, because you get older than 50 years. I only like heirlooms because your body will recognize those seeds. If you get genetically homogenized seeds, whatever the seeds are, the fruit yielded from it will be lesser quality, and it will cause harm to your biology. Okay, so try to get heirlooms, organic, obviously, but you should do your exchange through farmers, because they're the best, and they hold their seeds. They stock up their seeds for generations, and they yield seeds, and they categorize them. So I love to get them from farmers, especially farmers that I've known for many years, but it was very difficult this year, because a lot of the best seeds are coming out of Canada, and you know, the issues going on with you know, the borders and everything causes a little problem when you're doing exchange from abroad. So we'll go over that. So I'll try to do a video when my hydroponic system comes this week. So I have to figure it out. So we could do that video. It'd be fun for those who want to do, you know, 101 with Fleurbrun and planting. I do it all the time. You know, it's kind of like, I love planting. I love seeing the seeds yield. I love seeing my babies. It's like when you're giving birth. It's so beautiful. And if you have children at home, family, let's do this. Do it with babies. My girls love. Hey, Nerda. I was just talking about the hydroponic. My little ones love planting, and you'll like it if you're bored at home. Let the little ones do your planting. Do the planting thing. There's so much to do, and they'll take such pride of the things they grow, and they'll grow a relationship with the plants. So it's a good exchange for them to watch and monitor life, you know, life bloom. And they'll also honor what they consume. They'll have much more appreciation for, there's so much more appreciation for the things that, you know, they eat. They will. So you can do it with the little ones. My daughters are excited because we're doing different seeds this year. I'm doing what was the other one? This is a newer one. The moon. They're excited about the moon. The Concord grapes, because grapes take a little more time and they need a lot of sun. So and it's a little more challenging because I can't. Everything eats everything out here in Florida that's soft, fleshy. So I have to cover my grapes, but they need a lot of sun. So my daughters are really excited about doing the Concord grapes this year because the grapes are so much fun. They vine, and when the grapes come, woo, family. For y'all who are winetarians, y'all like wine. I don't drink wine, but y'all who like wine, you should be growing your own grapes. Why are you relying to make wine, to get wine? You can make your own wine. And you can also energize it. For those who don't want demons, you make your own wine. You putting your own frequency in your wine. You can make wine, or you can make wine, or you can make vinegar. Because usually if you have a bad batch of wine, it'll turn into vinegar if you don't know how to do it. So usually people's first batch of grapes turns out to be really vinegar because it's a difficult process. You know, it's just challenging. But you can grow your own. You could do your own wine, and then you can infuse it with a frequency, so you don't have wine, you don't have demons on your wine and spirits. You create your own wine, and you could put an ashe, so you could bring your mother, your grandmother into the frequency. So when you grow things, this is why you know I'm about that life. You put a picture. So my dad is going to be in a picture of my grapes. So you infuse the frequency of your ancestors on your fruits and vegetables. It's so beautiful. And then as it grows, you have the frequency of your ancestors. So if you do. You hear the bird? The bird. If you do grapes, that's something to do if you ever decided you wanted to make your own wine. It's such a beautiful process too. So if you want to make your own wine, that'd be fun. But you should do, there's certain kind of grapes you want to do. I love globe grapes, but I'm doing the Concord grapes this year just to eat. I like eating them. They're really good for you. So you should really invest in doing it, family. It's good for you. If you're quarantined and you're at home, there's no excuse. You could do it indoors. You just require to keep sun. So if you have a window with a lot of sun or a patio, it's a little cold, you can cover it. You can make your own little greenhouse. Come on, you guys are home. Let's get it. Okay? You had a crow just chirp. My ravens are in mating season. I have ravens that are mating. It's funny when they mate. They go, because ravens make a deeper, Anyway, family, I'm here too long. So I hope I didn't insult anyone. You know, I went on a rampage. Big up to everyone. Watch the holographics play and the artificial, fake alien invasion concept or fake UFOs. You know, watch the hologram play out. I don't know what the agenda. I can't tell you what their agenda will be. It'll be very interesting. I will be sitting down watching from a distance. Everyone's out. All right, family, I've been in the car. I've been sweating, sweltering. I'm going to go and get cool. All right? Get relaxed. Go finish dinner. And then we'll check out. So enjoy your day. Enjoy. And stay positive. Stay grounded. And the New World Order is here. And we are the New World Order. Just remember that. So if anybody says the New World Order and they're mad, look at the being. If they're or anything like you or your frequency, that's why they're mad. The law of polarities, you know what I mean? The law of duality. It's playing out. So when they're pissed off and they look nothing like you, they don't act like you, they don't have the same investment of you, yeah, they're mad at the New World Order because we are the New World Order. They should be. They shouldn't be mad. They should actually just be grateful and happy for a new regime, but they're not because they're a bunch of sociopathic narcissists. And they're hoarders of information and technology. So they can't be happy for anybody else because they feel like they lose their control. But if you were balanced, you wouldn't be concerned about losing control because you would have shared, right? Sharing is caring. If you were balanced, you wouldn't have been hoarding resources and raping and pillaging other countries to gain what you have. So by the nature of you doing that, you deserve whatever comes. Don't start, no won't be done. Anyway. So family, I'm out. Let me go inside. Like I said, let me apologize for any offense, you know. Like I said, you can always unsubscribe to me. I'm okay with that. because I only want to be around those who match my frequency. You know, I'm not for everybody, and I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But what I am their cup of tea, then this is for you. All right, family, I'm out. Have an amazing day. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bisou, 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 bisou. I appreciate it. I really do. And with all your donations, I usually end up giving them to, a lot of times I can't do it now because we're not allowed to go over there. But a lot of your donations, thank you. And I do take the extra and give to a lot of animal shelters, just to let you know. I don't have to. I want to a lot of times because especially now it's really tough. So I thank you for the donations, and no, it isn't going in vain. Anything extra that I have, I always extend to those who need. And the animals, and especially cats right now, kittens, and doggies that don't have homes, they require that. So thank you. I appreciate it. All right, family, I'm out. Have a wonderful day, and peace.